777-IHRS. 777-4477.
Beards Diamonds has been busy this fall, getting their showcases ready for the largest inventory of wedding bands in North Florida.
So, if you're getting married soon or want to upgrade your bands, don't miss Beards Diamonds' incredible Buy One, Get One wedding band sale. Going on now and only at Beards Diamonds.
All wedding bands are buy one, get one free.
Save thousands.
All stackables, all right-hand rings, all eternity bands, and more are buy one, get one free.
See hundreds of the latest styles from famous designers at beardsdiamonds.com.
It's the largest selection of wedding bands in North Florida at the guaranteed lowest price.
Couples wait for this sale all year.
Buy any wedding band and get the other band free.
Plus, shop Beard's large inventory of Rolex watches at the lowest prices. Don't miss the BOGO on wedding bands. Going on now, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed at Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
You and your children can find safety. Hubbard House offers free, confidential shelter and support for local survivors of domestic violence. Learn more at hubbardhouse.org.
Let me help you get a little something for free with the air conditioning team I use. It's Bold City Heating and Air. Tell them Brent sent you and you get a free duct cleaning with the purchase of a new unit. BoldCityAC.com. Here's why I've partnered up with Bold City Heating and Air. It's a Jacksonville-grown and family-owned and operated business. Most AC places locally have been sold to corporations.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson says he doesn't know when he'll be able to play again. Watson re-injured his right rotator cuff strain against the Colts and won't play Sunday against the Seahawks. P.J. Walker gets the start. Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama blocked a Kyrie Irving shot on his first defensive possession in the NBA. That was his only block of the game. He had 15 points and 5 rebounds for Spurs head coach Greg Popovich.
He's learning something, every practice, every game he's going to learn. But I love his energy. His defensive energy. Offensively, he's learning how to, control a group out there. So it'll take a little bit of time to gel them together, but I was really pleased with him overall.
Greg Popovich after Game 1 for the rookie Wembanyama. One more season opener tonight as the Bucks host the 76ers. No James Harden for Philadelphia. He'll miss at least the first 2 games after taking some time away from the team. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker both out for the Suns tonight against the Lakers.
Home, auto, prized sports memorabilia. Whatever you need to protect, Geico can help get you covered. And with the award-winning Geico mobile app, you can get 24/7 claim support and on-the-go policy access. It's easy to Geico. Go to geico.com today.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me. Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
It's a Thursday in Jacksonville, which means it's a big Thursday and Friday upcoming. We've got a big football game in Pittsburgh to finish off the first half of the year, essentially, before the Jaguars go on a bye week. We have a big football game on Saturday afternoon. The last time we really care about it around here on CBS 47. SEC moves to a different station next year. That's the point, guys. All right.
Oh, that's news to me. Okay.
I didn't know that. Where are they going?
I don't know. Never heard of it. The other three letters.
So it's not ESPN.
He's like, never heard of her.
Huh.
I do actually wonder how the Big Ten will do on CBS down here. Obviously, SEC will do better.
Why did I not know any of this?
Yeah, SEC is leaving. They go to ABC.
Oh, so you do know.
No, I know. Yes, this isn't.
Kasey, you broke the case.
I thought this was musical chairs.
Yeah, I do know.
I didn't know what was happening.
Kasey's like, aha!
So you guys are getting the Big Ten?
So we'll get. That's why you've actually seen more Big Ten already. They're starting to
Hadn't realized it.
push that through, and
That is a tough trade, Brent. I'm not going to lie to
Should
you.
have gotten the ACC.
it's
They're
not
about
really
to become a
anything we
mega
can do.
conference.
You didn't have any say in this?
we didn't have any say in it. No, but it's interesting. I thought it would be like a monster gap, and I wondered what they would do. And if you start looking at some of the numbers,
Oh, you're getting USC. That's good.
Yeah, you start looking at some of the things going
in
on in the
Florida,
Big
but-
Ten, then it's been pretty good. Well, here's the other thing. You just brought up an interesting point, Kasey. We haven't had Florida on the SEC game, like
forever.
outside of Florida, Georgia, in forever.
So it's not paying dividends.
Like it really hasn't recently. Have they been on again this year? They haven't been any other time this year.
No.
They usually get one other, even when they're not that good, and they are playing ranked teams coming up, like
Do
Missouri.
they? Because I'm trying to think. Like, they might get one coming up depending on what happens here. But, like, I'm thinking of, like, when I was in college, and the only 3:30 I remember was Auburn with Bo Nix.
Was Florida, Tennessee on CBS this year?
Potentially.
It might have been.
No.
Or was it a night game?
That was a night game, wasn't
It
it?
was a night game. I mean, if Florida, Tennessee isn't on, things you're down, right?
Well, I'm thinking about good Florida. Like, the one year it was good with Trask. That was also the LSU year. That big game was a night game, so you didn't have that one. I mean, they were in the SEC championship that year, so you had that one.
Now, listen, the rest of the SEC, here's the moral of the story. The SEC does well anyway. Doesn't matter who's on. Now, you get, certainly if Florida's good, boom, it hits a ramp. But it's a little bit like the NFL and the Jags. I mean, the NFL is going to still do a number, and the Jags are going to do a number around here. So it's good to have anything. And really, in today's landscape, it's good to have football. You know who actually was killing it early on in the year on the TV side is Colorado, even in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Just because there was like a lot of curiosity. I was there too.
And that was
really
you guys.
watch college
That was
football.
Fox 30,
It
wasn't
was.
it?
Yeah, Fox was.
Nice job, Brian.
They were, riding it high, baby, for
You
a few
did it,
weeks,
man.
right?
That
Good
Papa's
choice.
gone. I guess you haven't had a chance.
A little bit.
Yeah, they kind of stink now.
It's funny how quick they have
leveled out.
Very much leveled out. Like, are people talking about? I mean, they still are. Shedeur Sanders, he was at like the Nuggets game the other night. So I mean, I think
Travis,
Dion and those guys, they still have play, but they're certainly not the love affair that was in the first month of the season.
Well, after the first two games, you were like, well, I was specifically like, are these guys going to lose this year? And you guys called me an idiot.
Yeah, we did. But it's okay. You're still the man of the year.
Called me dumb.
That was kind of idiotic.
Yeah, sure.
After the Stanford thing,
it's like
it's
a
kind of
7-year-old going, Dad.
Well, you picked the Browns to the AFC Championship game. That seems idiotic too. But they're 4-2.
4-2, bro.
Were you going to say something, Kasey?
What? No, I don't. I'm done trying for this point. I tried 3 times. It's good. It's not that important.
You like Kaylee, so Kaylee gets so mad when we interrupt her at home.
Oh, man.
She gets so mad at
No,
it.
I'm just saying. You know, I'm not going to do it a
we're
fourth
not even
time.
doing it purposely. It's just we're just yapping.
Who was born first, Ty or Kaylee?
Ty by 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So Kaylee is the baby, and Ty is the big brother.
Yeah. It doesn't always feel that way.
I'm sure.
And then sometimes it does.
Yeah.
But, so we do have a big game coming up on Saturday. But what's interesting about this game, and obviously the pageantry of it, everything else, I still think on Thursday, and maybe it's just me, guys. I know you live in a different world, Aaron, most of the time, but I've been covering this game for 15 years since I've been in town.
Mm-hmm.
There have been, I think, 1 game or 2 that I missed because the Jags were on the road and I was with them or on the way to London. I forget. But you always feel this game.
You're talking
here in
about
Jacksonville.
Florida, Georgia.
Yeah. And some of it might be like we've been in RV City the last couple of years, got an RV, and we're doing the show from there. So maybe there's a little bit of that. I said earlier this week, maybe the Jags fever a bit, right? Everybody's talking about the Jaguars is overshadowed. Florida's a 2-touchdown underdog. Like, it doesn't feel like, whoa, this buildup. Now, both have a chance to still get to Atlanta, but it's just something that feels a bit off about this game to me. And I don't know if the rest of everybody feels that way. It might just be me, depending on how you're living it, breathing it, normally do, and compared to right now. But what's fascinating to me about this game is what happens after this game. Usually, since I've covered it, if Florida and Georgia are good, if they get by this game, they usually skate to the rest. I don't think that's the case for either one. Now, you're thinking Georgia will skate no problem anyway because they're so good and they've won 24 in a row. But, Kasey, they play Missouri, who's sneaky right now. They play Ole Miss, and they play at Tennessee.
Those are tough.
Well, it's tough in, like, totality, you know? I think if you took them as a one-off, you're like, Georgia, whatever. They're going to get them. They're going to get them. They're going to get them. But when you start adding it up with a rivalry game this week, I don't know if I remember a tougher kind of 4-game stretch coming out, or 3-game stretch coming out of this game for them. And on the other side of it is, I'm just doing this because we're working on our pregame show for tomorrow night, which we're doing Friday night, 7 o'clock, by the way, on CBS 47.
Nice.
Florida, if they do pull the upset,
it's tough the rest of the way.
They get Arkansas at home.
That one's not too tough.
But then I think they go to Missouri.
They do.
Who am I missing? Florida State to end it, and I'm missing. Oh, LSU.
Yeah.
LSU, then Missouri, then Florida State. Kasey, if Florida loses this game, which they're 2-touchdown underdogs, they've got to look out for Arkansas because they can lose to anybody. I mean, they almost lost to South Carolina, who's not very good. Mm-hmm. They haven't played great against. They might not win again.
Yeah, they might not. Here's the thing. Arkansas is no good. They're not as good as everybody thought they were. I won't say everybody, but most people thought they were going to be. They have to, win that game, especially at home. But, yeah, I mean, on paper, I know they don't play on paper. They're not better than LSU. I don't think they're better than Missouri, and they're certainly not better than Florida State. So this thing could – all the high of beating South Carolina, which you should have beat, like, handily, but instead you trailed most of the game and pulled it out at the very end, and then Napier talked his smack, which was interesting since he didn't really coach a great game. It could spiral very fast for the Florida Gators. And they're not going to be favored in any of those games other than Arkansas. And they're not going to be as big of a favorite as they should be at home against a team like that, I don't believe.
Yeah, Arkansas they probably beat in the context of this, you would say. But
they should, but they can lose too.
That's the thing. That's what's weird about Florida right now. It's like you can win, but you can lose to everybody. Like Georgia can't lose to Arkansas on paper, right? You can't make it make sense.
They can't on the field either.
Probably not. Now, Arkansas played Alabama tough, right? Wasn't it Alabama a few weeks ago that they played pretty tough? And I just don't think Alabama's that good this year. But
I think Alabama's
I don't think anybody in college football is really good. And that goes for Georgia. So that's what's interesting about this. Like, Georgia is not nearly as dominant as they've been the last couple of years.
No.
And then they just lost Bowers, who that's a big X factor right now. Because as much as Carson Beck playing in this game, which is kind of cool, not many Jacksonville quarterbacks have played in this game, and none for Georgia, I don't believe. So it's cool for him, but he's not a dominant player. Like, he's not a put a game on my shoulders player.
No.
That's not the way they're built to do this. So,
but the Gators don't have the guy either, which is good for him.
Yeah. There's a lot. I've never been more interested in after this game than I am like almost for this game for the two schools. Because the problem is for Georgia, it's like, okay, can they go get, what would that be, like 28 in a row and win another national championship? That would be the conversation. If Florida's conversation is, do they win again? It's like all this angst and animosity that has existed at times already for Billy Napier really comes to the forefront, even though he keeps signing recruit after recruit after recruit after recruit, and he's killing it right there. Like, he's really doing some of the best job a Florida coach has done in a long time, probably since Urban.
It's true, but they can't play on Saturday.
Trail. But, yeah, playing on Saturday, if you win, even if they beat Arkansas and lose the rest, that's 6 wins. In year two, that is not good. That's not a good sign because I'll tell you what, usually year 2 for coaches in college is a takeoff year. If you go back to other big-time programs.
But the wild thing is, it has not been that so far. It very well could be. Because no one expects them to beat Georgia. I'm not even putting that on him. But if he goofs around and takes care of business against Arkansas and then beats 2 of the 3, ideally one, if you're a Gator fan, ideally one being Florida State.
Yeah.
Not being Florida State. But if they could, and then they get another one of those ranked SEC games, then now it is kind of taken off because you have the recruiting. But if this thing falls apart, which it may at the end, and they don't win again, or they only beat Arkansas, the recruiting at this point in college football is not a sure thing. It really never was, but now more than ever, it's not a sure thing. You just saw what happened with Rashada last year.
Yeah,
so
good point.
You can recruit as many kids as you want now until they're playing for you on Saturday, whenever that is. The recruiting means nothing.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Let's just say that the book is certainly not written on year 2 in Billy Napier. And it's got a lot of different ways it can go, man. I mean, like, this was a drama series. It can go in a bunch of different directions. So, pretty wild. And I think that's what's fun about this game coming up. Again, I see this from a neutral point of view. I'm not a Gator fan, not a Dog fan. And I really like when everybody's good. It's nice to see Florida State back. I think Miami has done some good things. They'd be really cooked. Miami would be capturing some attention if it wasn't for that kneel down or not kneel down play. I mean, it's crazy how much they would actually be right in the mix of this thing, which would be setting up for Miami, Florida State to be unbelievable. I think next week that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that thing just took a lot of the pizzazz off that game. As for now, we'll see if they can build it
Why
back
are we
up.
running the football?
They did get a good win over Clemson. I mean, anytime you beat Clemson's good. But I like when all of them are good. And heck, UCF almost got a big win over Oklahoma last week. That would have been kind of fun because now they're in the mix of that. Being in the Big 12.
You know who stinks, by the way? Not to full conversation it. Clemson. Clemson stinks.
Clemson's not very good.
No, they stink, Brent.
Yeah.
Really bad.
It's going to be an interesting study, and people have said this, so this isn't new.
Dabo.
But the NIL, the transfer portal, that kind of stuff. And you know what else they haven't had? They haven't had the dynamic quarterback since Trevor left.
Well, that's the thing. Dabo's literally only one with Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence.
But let's listen. Alabama's offense looks very mediocre. You know why? Because they don't have a quarterback, right? Florida State went downhill under Jimbo because, well, they had quarterback, and then they had no quarterbacks. Florida haven't had that's not just a Dabo thing. That's a college football thing.
I get it, but you're talking about two. Deshaun is what he is now, but you're talking about like 2 of the best to ever play the sport. And like they shouldn't get a pass because DJ Uyunglele was a 5-star. Cade Klubnik's a 5-star. Like, it's not like he hasn't recruited them. He hasn't developed them. So, besides the fact when he got the 2 can't-miss dudes, number 1 high school players in the world at the time, in Trevor and Deshaun, other than that, he hasn't developed that guy. But that guy, as in Trevor or Deshaun, was going to develop wherever he went because they were just that dude.
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions about Dabo's offense and everything else, and have people figured it out over the last couple of years. All right, that's our college segment.
A couple of people in the chat want to join in, too. Steve Boston, problem with the Gators is they're the youngest team with so many freshmen playing. Pico says the Gators should be on tape delay, ESPN 9.
That's tough. The Ocho. Not even the Ocho.
Not even the Ocho.
That's the whatever it is.
The 9.
The 9. The Nueve.
Nueve.
Yeah.
Is Nueve 9?
Yes, it is.
That's a couple of years Spanish. I should know that.
Nueve.
You absolutely should know how to count to 10 in Spanish, yeah.
I agree with that. That's a good take.
I feel like everybody does.
I only count to 8.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Hey, Zay Jones, he's not out there during the media time. We'll see what the Jags end up listing him. I don't think that's out yet. I don't see it in my email. So, but I don't like when Zay Jones doesn't play, man. This could be 5th time in 8 games. I mean, this is so far, it's a lost first half of the year for Zay Jones. I will tell you this. When I saw him in London in the locker room, it doesn't surprise me that he's been out this long. I mean, it was not good the way he was walking around. Did he come back too early, re-injured it, whatever it is. It wasn't good. I get what the Jags are doing here. It looks like they're going to hold him out, make sure he gets an extra rest. Smart play. I'm just telling you, injury, whatever, we'll figure that out. Like, it's okay that he's going to miss because it's a smart play to miss. I just don't like when he's not in there. I feel like this offense moves and looks differently when Zay Jones is in.
Yeah, I was curious, what about it didn't you like? Because you like Zay or because you think the offense needs him? I'll offer you this.
I think Zay's underrated.
Absolutely. But I do have this coming up in the chats later up today. Is a great stat from Jacob Gibbs on X. His perfect get-right matchup for Calvin Ridley this week, and Steelers are 1 of 10 teams with a press coverage rate below 50%. Here's Ridley's numbers. Facing the press, 14.2% targets per route run, 0.89 yards per route run. When he's not pressed, that number jumps from 14.2% target per route to 24.2%. And then the yards per route run goes from 0.89 to 2.06. So every arrow pointing north for a big game for Calvin Ridley this weekend, whether or not Zay Jones plays.
Yeah, and that's okay. And I think there are going to be days. Like, everybody's kind of talking about the Calvin Ridley stuff from last Thursday, a week ago, and gosh, it seems like it was 3 years ago.
It does feel like a long time ago, yeah.
Cow. And that's, listen, some guys are going to get stopped or double teamed, or, anytime the Patriots play anybody good, they do this. They take away their top threat, right? I mean, I know they didn't play the Patriots. I'm just saying some teams do that.
Yeah, some teams do that.
And the Jags have other people to go to, and that's why Christian Kirk was able to get loose, and other guys can. So it's not that. It's just something I feel like we've been saying this a little bit for 3 weeks. I also don't know if we can fully put our finger on it. It just feels like things operate better, smoother. It's another thing that Trevor trusts with Zay Jones. He's a highlight reel guy. So Calvin Ridley can be a highlight reel guy. He probably caught that ball on the sideline. Many people think he does himself.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram's not a highlight reel guy. I know he had the nice one-handed catch, but overall he's a very consistent player. This is not a knock when you're not a highlight reel guy.
No, he's a lunch pail guy. He's going to go out, run the right routes, make the catches, get the first downs, and that's how he plays.
Good way to describe it. I think Christian Kirk is that too.
Lunch pail guy.
I mean, really, until he ran away from everybody, that was his highlight.
Yep.
He's not a one-handed catch guy, an acrobatic catch guy. Just not. But he's very consistent. He's very good. Zay is that guy. Zay has he's played in 3 football games, and he's got 2 of the best highlights of the year.
Yeah.
The catch against Indianapolis in the opener and the catch against Buffalo in London. So he gives you that, right? He gives you juice. And he also gives you somebody to trust. And he elongates your depth chart, because then I think a guy like Agnew, who the fans are all over anytime they throw him the football, Agnew then gets to be more of the role guy in the offense, the gadget guy, the distraction guy, the what are they going to do on this play guy, rather than just lining up on the outside. And I think you lose an element of that when Zay Jones is off the field and you got to line Agnew up just on the outside. So I don't know if that's the answer. I'm not saying they can't win without him, because they obviously have won without him. I just think if you want to go by the clunky nature sometimes of this offense, why it hits some lulls and why you're like, why can they do it here but they can't do it there? I think that's part of the answer. I really do. I mean, the offensive line has been some of that answer in the past. Maybe the running game gets stymied. Maybe there's been some drops along the way. But I think Zay Jones being out maybe now for a 5th time in 8 games is certainly part of the equation at why this Jaguars offense hasn't been just chugging along the way most people thought it would.
Do you think Zay has done enough in his time here? Do you think you've seen enough, or the team actually, guys like Trent and Doug, have seen enough from Zay to have all the info they need when it comes time to be looking at this contract at the end of the year? Or is him missing games this year significantly diminishing his chances of returning?
I started to think about that a little bit too, because once you add it up, like 5 out of 8 if he doesn't play. Okay, I can't officially rule him out. Sure. But when you're not on the practice field for a couple of days and you've been hurt, it kind of starts to add up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I feel like he's done enough. They know what they got. They had all the analytics before they went and got him. He showed and proved that those analytics rung true. It's not like you're paying $25 a year for the guy. I think it would be a different story if you had to pay top dollar for him.
Here's the thing. I think if you go, Zay Jones is kind of a cool dude, man. I like his story. His story's unbelievable.
Doesn't he seem like one of these guys who, like, after retirement will just be around the organization kind of helping other guys?
He might be. I love when Doug Peterson a couple weeks ago, I think it was maybe the Buffalo game, actually, when they were, it was the next one. It was against Indianapolis. And he gave credit in the postgame show to Zay for keeping the sideline on point because energy was a thing. They were concerned about energy coming back from London and a lull and all that. And he's like, he gave credit in his postgame. Zay, thanks for being the guy, man. Thanks for being my man, like in street clothes.
That's awesome.
So interesting that you say it that way. But bigger than that is, I think people, when Calvin Ridley got traded for, and they're like, hey, Calvin Ridley's going to be part of the equation. There were some folks out there, just some. I don't know if it was a loud amount of people that were like, hey, well, we could trade Zay for a pass rusher, or we could trade Zay for this, or we could do this. Like, whoa, stop the car, man. My point in this conversation is I think he's bigger than anybody thinks he is in this offense. Again, if he misses, doesn't mean you can't win. But I think you want this thing chugging along, You want this offense going where you think it can. You want it going like unstoppable in 30. I think Zay's got to get in the lineup. And maybe they think he's got to get in the lineup. And that's why he's trending toward being out again because they want him on this other side. As for what they would do next year, Aaron, it's really hard to say because if he gets hurt again and keeps missing, availability kind of gets in the head of management too. If he plays the final 8 games into the playoffs, all that stuff, then you're like, whatever. He just missed some games and we held him out, and that's fine. The other part of this riddle is Calvin Ridley, right? I mean, how much is he going to play and take off this second half of the year, which makes you think we got to keep him? Right now, people in Jacksonville are like, all right, go trade for a pass rusher, pay Danielle Hunter, pay Josh Allen, pay Tyson Campbell, pay Trevor Lawrence. All good, fine. You can let Calvin Ridley go. I mean, he's only got 27 catches and blah, blah, blah. Are we going to be saying that? Remember how we did this drill a couple of days ago? Yep. What are we going to be saying in 7 weeks? See, I'm a big believer that Calvin's about to take off in the second half of the year. It might not be Pittsburgh, but I think he's going to take off in the second half of the year.
I think it's believable.
I witnessed it in last year with these receivers and Trevor. But you also brought it up. You were a guy that thought it might be a little rusty out of the gates. You looked wrong in the first half against the Colts.
I certainly did.
But actually, since then, you've really been more right that it has been a little bit give and take. Whether you want to call it rust or whatever else, it still hasn't been all there the way we thought Ridley, and he probably thought he could go for 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns the way he looked at camp, the way he looked in time so far. So I think the answer to Zay is kind of tied to Ridley. How does this play out over the next 2 months is going to be an important factor.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with that point. Although, back to the thought about rust, when I said that originally, I was really just thinking about the football shape that Rashean Mathis used to talk to us about last year. Guys, it's not just a physical, it's a mental, but you got to get back in the mind frame of getting hit, being hit, running those routes, being exposed. You look at Ridley, and I don't get the sense that that's the rust. The rust just seems to be processing these plays, like knowing where you're supposed to be, learning that playbook at a quicker speed than the time allotted to you right now. Because he still seems like he's got to get comfortable with these things.
Well, listen, I think a lot of this goes on Ridley at times because he dropped the pass against Houston and he's had some moments where it's like, okay, what's going on, right? I think some of this is also on Trevor. And this isn't really a knock. It's just you've only played 7 games with him.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll go back to. What he started to do with a guy like Christian Kirk by week 15 last year was totally different with week 7, week 6, week 5.
You could say the same for Ingram, too.
Same thing. And it was. With Zay, they played all those games. They played all that time. The good thing is Ridley's been healthy, so he's been in the games.
Yeah.
So now he knows where he's going to be. He trusts where he's going to be. Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback right now that doesn't want to just chuck it up and risk mistake. He's not doing that. And Ridley is a guy that sometimes you want to just chuck it up and see if he's going to go make a play.
Oh, yeah, and he can make that play.
So I think there's a little bit of that as they try to figure this thing out. And I do believe in the next month, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, I think you're going to see that connection be even more on point. And that goes even back to sometimes this was it looked like it was having trouble organically developing. They were forcing the issue. Well, I think it's been way more organic over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Sometimes he gets 2 catches. Sometimes one of them's for a touchdown. Sometimes he doesn't get a lot of targets because guess what? He's double-teamed. And then sometimes he'll go catch 8 passes for 100 and something yards and make a huge difference in the game.
Yep.
That's organic. That's not forcing it. That's just a game. And I think the Jags, right now in their position, they don't need a guy like Jamar Chase going to catch 15 balls. Jamar Chase has done that a couple times.
A lot of times.
Right? They don't need Ridley to do that. They need him to blend into the offense, and when you're open, get it to him. And when you need to make a play, go try to get it to him like he did on the sideline. We think he did kind of catch that, and it was called out of bounds. So I am fascinated to watch that.
I don't think the Bengals need Jamar Chase to do that either. They have options.
They do, but it feels like to get their offense going twice, I think so far in the first part of the season, they've really just tried to feed them.
I mean, Jamar Chase had one of those games was just an absolute.
I think he has 2 games where he has at least 15 targets through the first. Have they played 6 or 7? I'm not sure if they're 4-2 or.
I'm not sure.
They've had a bye.
They did have a bye
last week. or 2 weeks ago.
So, yeah, 6 games. He had 2 games, a third of the games where he's had 15 targets.
He had 15 receptions.
And you're not wrong, by the way. Like, they do have options. They don't have to just go to him.
They have 4 pass catchers.
And they don't give it to Joe Mixon. Shout out my fantasy team. That boy never gets the ball.
We're talking more football. We'll give you an injury update when the Jags release it, probably in the next half hour or so. The Jaguars are road warriors of sorts. Didn't see this one coming, but I'll give you a stat that might blow your mind when we come back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny and breezy today with a brief shower or two. Highs reaching into the lower 80s, dropping into the 60s tonight, and a partly sunny and warm Friday. Highs tomorrow between 80 and 85. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss Beards' incredible buy one, get one on wedding bands now through October 31st.
Let me help you get a little something for free with the air conditioning team I use. It's Bold City Heating and Air. Tell them Brent sent you and you get a free duct cleaning with the purchase of a new unit. BoldCityAC.com. Here's why I've partnered up with Bold City Heating and Air. It's a Jacksonville-grown and family-owned and operated business. Most AC places locally have been sold to corporations, not Bold City Heating and Air. And they take care of you the old-fashioned way. Awesome communication, awesome customer service, and they have an awesome new look. BoldCityAC.com for a tune-up on that overworked AC unit. BoldCityAC.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
It's old school card collecting with new school breaks. Davoli's House of Cards does it all. Missing a card from an old 1987 baseball top set? They probably have it. Want to join in on a live TikTok break with the hottest new cards? You can do it with Davoli's House of Cards. Stop on by, talk some sports, find your favorite cards for your kids or for you, like when you were a kid. From Trevor Lawrence rookies to Pokemon and more, Davoli's House of Cards on 210. And join their live breaks on TikTok at Davoli's House of Breaks.
Get into the game at Best Bet. Come enjoy the best in-card games, hospitality, and fun at Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park. You don't have to be a poker pro to have a great time. Featuring poker games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and Pai Gow. Wager on exciting simulcast races and enjoy delicious food and drink. Our card rooms are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. and 24 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Details at bestbetjax.com. That's bestbetjax.com.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Play a little pool, watch some football, eat wings, and, of course, plenty of adult beverages. Perfect Rack Billiards is the place to be on game day and every day. Now open for lunch at 11:30 on Friday and Saturdays. Daily specials like 75-cent wing Wednesday, $3 draft Thursday, and $3 seltzer Saturday. Pool, darts, shuffleboard in a fun, clean atmosphere at Perfect Rack Billiards. It's your Jags game day headquarters. 10 wings and a pitcher for $20 and a free shot with every Jags touchdown. It's up to the Jags to score. It's up to you to have fun at Perfect Rack Billiards in Jacksonville.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
All right, there's some fun stuff out there on the Jaguars defense. That Stat Boy retweeted somebody, and I saw it, and I just commented on it. And this is from Kasey Kuhrts.
Great name. Good name.
With a C.
Bad
name. Casey's an Emmy Award-winning producer.
Good name. I'll claim it.
Super kick aficionado.
Super kick.
He's a Duval till we die guy.
I now want him to kick me.
Oh.
You think I can take it?
No.
He's an aficionado, not an expert.
I don't think you become a super kick aficionado. It's like a super fan. I don't think you become a super kick aficionado without being a good kicker.
I don't think. What's Casey's name?
Kasey.
Ziders.
I don't think Kasey Ziders could kick me in the face and knock me out cold.
Oh, we should try.
Casey?
Want me to tweet at him?
Yeah. Tell him he doesn't have a hair on his ass unless he's kicking Kasey in the face.
Maybe not say that just in case this guy's huge. Just, kind of say something light, Brent. Like, hey.
You can do mouth guard? I'll give you an extra 50 for no mouth guard.
I didn't know I was getting any 50.
I'll give you a 50 for no mouth guard, and I'll try and set you up with an orthodontist.
I don't have insurance.
All right. Well, this is good.
We
can do
in that
this.
Direction.
I like this. All right, Brent's setting it up. You get a kick to the face. I love this. This is one of the best days so far.
Watch this guy be like the size of the mountain from Game of Thrones.
Here's how you know.
What does super kick mean?
I don't know. It sounds great.
It's a kick, I assume. It's pretty super.
I'll tell you this. You'll know how serious this guy is about kicking you in the face depending on how quickly he responds to Brent.
I'm pretty tall, though. It's going to be a lot for him to kick me.
It's a super kick. It's got to be able to hit you.
Yeah, it's got to be like jumping in the air and doing it.
If he's calling it a super kick, he should be able to hit you from like 3 rooms away.
He's not Wembenyama, bro.
Maybe we get Austin Lane on and see what's characterized as a super kick.
I will not let Austin kick me.
Why? Little shin to the shin?
I will die.
So Kasey actually tweets here, not you. Super kick, Kasey. At some point this season, national media people actually watch a Jags game and understand that they're the 31st ranked pass defense because they're up by 2 scores. The entire second half teams are forced to throw versus them. Last 3 QBs versus the Jaguars defense. Josh Allen threw 40 times for 359. Now, he does throw. They don't run as much as everybody else, but they did abandon. They only ran it 14 times for 29 yards.
40 is more than he throws.
Minshew 55 times.
Oh, my God.
Which they did abandon the run in that game. They abandoned the run right out of the gates in that game.
Unless your name is Brett Favre, you're losing the game when you're throwing 55 times.
And Derek Carr 55 times. And so I actually just retweeted and said it might not be just as much the Jags have the leads in those games, which they have. They've had double-digit leads in all those games. But on top of that, people know their run defense is good, and they've proven it to be good. And so you've got to throw, because sooner or later people do abandon the run, especially if you do get down a score or 2. But they have set this up perfectly. Like, Allen's a different animal. He can handle throwing it 50 times. But if you really look at the last 2 weeks, you want Derek Carr and Gardner Minshew throwing it 55 times against you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this works both ways. Sure, they're giving up yardage. And haven't we labeled this defense like that the whole time anyway? Like, they're not going to just shut you down and only give up 200 yards a game. Nobody ever said that about this defense. We thought they'd play well when what? The Jaguars had the lead.
Sure.
And they have for the last 4 weeks. We also thought they would be a little bend, but don't break, force field goals, or get that opportunistic turnover.
And
they lead the NFL in doing that. So I actually don't think we've mislabeled. Maybe, Kasey, they shouldn't watch the Jags. They should just listen to us.
Oh.
Because I don't think we've mislabeled this defense. In fact, I think we've kind of nailed this defense for most of the year and even in training camp of what they could be, maybe should be. And maybe they've outperformed by some measurables. But I think where they've outperformed is really the first 3 weeks of the season when the Jags offense was struggling, that they actually were the ones helping them get the lead or keeping them in the game. I wondered about that. If things were neutral, could they keep the Jags in the game? Or if they're behind, could they keep them in the game, get the turnover that changes the game? That's what this defense also has shown the ability to do outside of the Houston game so far this year. But I think the running part of this is really important. And if we're going into this Pittsburgh game, guys, Pittsburgh doesn't run the ball that great.
They do not run it at all.
No.
Najee Harris constantly getting hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Y'all want to hear the worst pick in fantasy football of all time? It was Kasey. He had the 4th pick in a dynasty league. He picked Najee Harris.
The Emmy-winning producer?
No.
Oh.
This Kasey, the bum Kasey.
Oh.
By the way, this guy looks kind of large. I might be in trouble.
Not only does that guy look large, but Steve Boston in the chat says, I'm 6'5" with a size 14. I want to try.
Steve's 6'5"? We saw him last year at the Duval House. 6'5"?
We were on the front porch. We were like 4 steps above him.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean,
We got a whole bunch of people lining up right now to try and kick you in the face,
Kasey.
I don't understand.
By the way, it's worth the hamstring pull.
Is it? Is it worth it?
Well, some days.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, Super Kick Kasey, I tell you what, good news, his location says L.A., so I don't think he's going to kick me.
Oh,
Again,
man. Well,
Super
hey,
Kick,
listen, I feel like they have flights from there to Jacksonville.
If you fly this dude in to kick me in the face.
I got checks.
Nice.
That would be mad
This is a good investment.
It's a hell of an investment. And it sounds like he's Duval till he died. Probably love to see a Jags game, so maybe San Francisco week or something.
Yeah, man. Throw you in a San Francisco jersey, make it a bit.
Dude, if I have to get kicked in the face, I'm definitely quitting.
Speaking of bits, Amanda Winkle, our digital producer, I'll call her, downstairs in
Shout
TV
out
land.
to Amanda.
Amanda's the best. She was talking to me about Florida Man games. Did you see the Florida Man
they
games?
look a lot of fun. The beer belly arrays, all
Coming
that
in
stuff.
like February?
Yeah.
Are we doing it?
Yeah, we're
what are the contests?
We're working on getting a couple of teams in there, me and Justin.
Oh,
So,
this is no fun.
Maybe this will be like an ESPN 690
Wait,
team.
this is such a good idea that it's a 96.9 The Eagle
No,
and
no, no,
95.1
no.
WAPE.
Yeah, I'm not giving you guys content.
If I got a choice, I'm doing ESPN 690 because my
No.
teammates over at the music station are not really athletic. So
Neither are we, by the way. But I'm not giving you guys free content. If I'm getting kicked in the face, it's for ESPN, not anybody else.
I'm with you, Case.
He does look like a big guy, Kasey Ziders.
More
He just
guys,
sent us a picture.
More guys checking in. Crixus says, I'm 5'10". I've lost every fight I've ever been in. I think he wants to try as well.
I'll take it. I'll go
Cool.
for it.
You might as well.
I'll go that one.
All
I love
takers.
the honesty there. That's great. I'm going to give you guys a stat that will be pretty crazy because the Jags, this will just show you the turnaround in Jacksonville. In fact, I think they shared this with me. Somebody just tweeted at me to remind me. This is Romo, not Tony. The only undefeated teams on the road this season, Kansas City 3-0, the Jags 3-0, and Tampa is 2-0. Well, I'll go a little further on this. For a team that couldn't win at all, and how long did they go with losing road games, Kasey? Wasn't it just road games in general? Then it was like the West Coast.
Yep.
Then they couldn't beat anybody in like the NFC.
Yep.
Like those are some of the things that Doug eclipsed.
Yep.
Well, now they don't lose road games.
They don't lose a lot in general.
They are tied.
They haven't lost a lot recently.
They are tied right now with the Kansas City Chiefs for the longest road winning streak in the NFL.
That's really impressive.
At 6.
Nice.
They've won 6 road games in a row.
That's wild.
The
This
Jaguars.
is the
Make
Jags,
this
bro.
make sense.
Jaguars.
Like, what kind of world are we living in? How stunning is that to
It's
you?
a good place to be.
Stunning.
Right? Like, it's a great place to be for the team.
Nothing like there's been a lot of other good stats. This one's pretty. Like, you remember that you would be like years before they won 6 games, period, home or away or forfeit.
That was supposed to be last year.
They didn't win 6 games for like a long time, and then you're telling me they've won 6 in a row on the road.
And especially helpful when you don't know if you're
That's crazy.
Strong enough to overtake the top seed for that playoff run. You may have to play a couple of road playoff games. Well, we've seen them on the road. They're pretty decent on the road.
Yeah, you know what else they've handled pretty well is they've handled like the cold weather or stuff like that. Well, it could be rainy. The only time they didn't handle things really well was Philadelphia, right? And that was just an absurd amount. It's not going to be that kind of rain in Pittsburgh, but it might be a little wet in Pittsburgh. One other thing about that stat I just gave you, I'll add to it by saying, once I find it, it's the second longest winning streak in Jaguars history on the road.
What's the first?
First
Probably
one was
95 or
7 back in 1999 when they went 14-2.
Yeah.
7 though?
They won 7.
Okay, so they'd have to beat Pittsburgh.
And then is Tennessee at home or on the road first? No, it's at home. So Houston. So to break the record, they have to beat Pittsburgh and then Houston.
Okay. They can do it.
They can do it.
That'd be cool.
Pretty crazy, huh? I mean,
Yes,
it's
very crazy.
it's just unbelievable to sit here and think like how much Doug. That's why I go back to the Doug well so many times, and I know people probably like Brent. I mean, are you guys cousins?
Are you?
No.
Well, look, you like going back to the Dugwell. The reality is the dude is already in position to be 4th in the franchise history for wins with 14.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I know.
Come on.
That's
So, yeah, he's doing it.
But it's bigger than that. It's the feel. It's what I talked about yesterday or whatever a couple days ago. It's like in the team hotel, people or on the plane, people are like, "That's a short week, so what? 4 game in 19 days, Jags going to win." Like Pittsburgh, so what? Rain doesn't matter. Like Jags are going to win. Like people feel that way in the building. That's Doug.
That's crazy.
He has a list of. We probably got to redo the list. Last year, this was a big thing when the West Coast stuff and the road and the NFC and there's more that he checked the box, cross off the list. At Indianapolis this year, checked off the box. You know, the one he hasn't is Houston winning here. About the only thing he hasn't exorcised is Houston winning in Jacksonville. They haven't lost in Jacksonville since 2017. That's the only streak I can remember Doug Peterson so far in his short tenure as the Jags coach, which is some 26 games, I think, if you count the postseason. That's the only thing that he hasn't crossed off.
Yeah.
Just nuts. Like he extinguished like 10 years of misery in a year and a half.
It does kind of feel that way.
It's just unreal. Like, you have to remind yourself of it. And yet we still get people complaining on Mondays about their offense just not doing enough after a win.
Hey, man. That's the wild part. This whole thing is kind of strange, huh? They're winning, and we're mad about it.
I still can't get to that. Like, I'm not there yet. It is pretty wild to me. Doug Peterson.
The GOAT.
Do you think actually, Doug, like, who's the early lead for Coach of the Year in the NFL? McDaniel?
McDaniel's got to be up there. Peterson's got to be up there.
I don't hear Peterson's names being jockeyed around.
I'll check a list, but I would put probably Sirianni's back up there. Campbell's probably back up there despite the loss.
Dan
Harbaugh
Campbell.
maybe.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. I mean, so really there could be a lot of them, right?
It's the same characters.
But is anybody out of the blue doing like Tomlin actually at 4-2? If they go to 5-2, he'd be right there in that conversation, right?
Yeah, but like there's not that many. I mean, it's similar to college football. Like, who's really good?
I'll tell you the
Chiefs
guy
are really good, and they aren't going to give it to Andy Reid.
Yeah, I'll tell you the guy doing the best that nobody expected. That's kind of what I'm looking for here.
D'Amico Ryans?
Yes. Right?
I mean, I wouldn't say nobody expected this guy. Right?
As far as bets
you
placed.
expected they would finish second
in the division. That means
with
they'd be
6
pretty
wins.
okay.
With 6
No,
wins.
I had the over. Check the tape.
D'Amico in third in tickets placed for BetMGM.
Who's first?
You got Dan Campbell, Mike McDaniel, D'Amico Ryan, Shanahan. And if you believe it, Robert Saleh.
That's
actually not a bad call.
That's actually not a bad call. But you know what I don't like? Why is Dan Campbell getting the shine instead of Peterson?
It goes Tomlin, then Peterson, but you're right.
And I'm fine with Campbell's shine.
Sure.
But Peterson should be right in the conversation. They're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They're flipping the franchise.
Yeah.
He doesn't get enough love.
He really doesn't. He's not. He's
Unless
the
you
sexy
listen
pick.
to Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We'll be back.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
From selling out of a back of a car to one of the biggest outfitters in the Southeast, Baker Sports is quite the story. And on a daily basis, they are helping you write your story with a high school name or sports team across a uniform and so much more. And now it's a one-stop shop with Baker Sports, carrying Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. They already make you look good, and now they can help you look better than ever. Baker Sports, custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team. And it's easy to do at bakersport.com.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be present in a state where lawful to wager, must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 877-800 HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Let me help you get a little something for free with the air conditioning team I use. It's Bold City Heating and Air. Tell them Brent sent you and you get a free duct cleaning with the purchase of a new unit. BoldCityAC.com. Here's why I've partnered up with Bold City Heating and Air. It's a Jacksonville-grown and family-owned and operated business. Most AC places locally have been sold to corporations, not Bold City Heating and Air. And they take care of you the old-fashioned way. Awesome communication, awesome customer service, and they have an awesome new look. BoldCityAC.com for a tune-up on that overworked AC unit. BoldCityAC.com.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Whoa, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim.
Hello out there, all you hard workers. It's me, Pete the Job Guy.
And Angie, the boss.
And together we run Ascendo Resources, the best staffing agency in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's right, folks. We can help you with accounting, finance, technology, administrative, anything you need, we can help on a temporary, temp to hire, and permanent basis. So call the true professionals today at 904-663-2654 because you deserve it.
Have you seen your financial freedom wiped out by stock market volatility? It's Rich Jones. Consider investing in real estate funds from DLP Capital. Don Winter is CEO and founder.
DLP Capital has provided our investors with consistent double-digit returns by investing in cash-flowing residential real estate. For more than a decade, we have had zero losses, little volatility, and have shot above our return targets in all of our investment funds. Plus, we offer monthly distributions and tax shelter opportunities.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial **invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
It's old school card collecting with new school breaks. Tivoli's House of Cards does it all. Missing a card from an old 1987 baseball top set? They probably have it. Want to join in on a live TikTok break with the hottest new cards? You can do it with Tivoli's House of Cards. Stop on by, talk some sports, find your favorite cards for your kids or for you, like when you were a kid. From Trevor Lawrence rookies to Pokemon and more, Tivoli's House of Cards on 210. And join their live breaks on TikTok at Tivoli's House of Breaks.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. And now through November, purchase Certainty with Beacon Pro Plus, web or app, and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
Time to hoop it up and swoop it up with the Ospreys. Men's and women's basketball, the opening tip is almost here. UNFOspreys.com for your season tickets. Plenty of options in the beautiful UNF Arena to watch a fun brand of basketball. Season tickets, flex plans, and premium seat and suite options are available. Matthew Driscoll and the men's team always play an exciting brand of basketball. And welcome new women's coach Erica Lambert to UNF Arena. It's the busiest home slate in the D1 era. More than 30 games at UNF Arena. See one and you'll want to see more. UNFOspreys.com.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Hey, NBA started.
Yeah, it did.
Is there anything exciting going on in the NBA outside of Wembanyama? It's like he's kind of the draw right now, right?
Well, we're just talking about this Chicago Bulls players-only meeting after Game 1. That's pretty exciting.
I'm telling you, if you're Billy Donovan, you're like, oh, boy.
I would quit if I was Billy Donovan.
That's a long year, man. When you got people, you go in the locker room, they're already bickering at each other, I guess. And
Case, you still like Billy Donovan, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't like Billy D.
Love Billy. He's from Brooklyn. BK all day. Billy D. Oh,
Providence
yeah.
Friars.
I thought he was Brent's guy.
He coached in Providence, but he was born in Brooklyn.
So we all have a connection.
Billy D. Love that dude.
Love this guy. We got to get him on the show.
Yeah, buddy.
When he's fired midseason after the players only meeting week 1.
Come on.
What? He's gone to.
That'd be great to get Billy D on.
Listen, everybody has to get fired.
True.
Do they?
That's kind of how it works.
Not everybody.
Is he going to be the coach of the Bulls for the rest of time?
Maybe.
Well, he could quit.
He could die eventually.
Sheesh.
Not tomorrow. Like 30 years.
As the still acting coach?
Yes, you said forever. No one lives forever.
You know, there are some people like in life that don't get old. Billy D's one of them.
Genetics wise?
No, just like it doesn't. Billy D will always use Billy the Kid was his nickname, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll ever feel old to me. But maybe when he's like 75, 80 years old and you look at him, maybe he will. Feel a chuckle from the chat.
Sorry, yeah.
That could be a good segment. Chuckle from the chat.
Pico says, R.I.P. Billy. I didn't mean right now. Just saying, it's a possibility.
Wembanyama was cool.
Wembanyama was awesome to watch a little bit.
Like
a couple of funny memes
so
from the game.
I didn't really watch him.
I watched the whole first half.
Was it good? Because he scored 9 of his 15 points in the fourth quarter. So it's like, how good did he play?
By just telling you I saw the first half, didn't see a lot of scoring. Couple of threes is what he hit in the first half.
Which alone by itself is pretty amazing.
He's huge.
At 7'27".
Like, here's the takeaway is he's bigger than everybody. It's not close. If you are being guarded by Victor Wembanyama, you have no chance to get up a shot.
Got to pass the ball.
Because he's huge.
And he can move.
Not only can he move and is he huge, but he leans in on this defensive block. I think he had 5 blocks in the game last night.
He did. That was the most impressive part.
But he's like on the free throw line blocking 3-pointers.
So, no, that's real. Like, it's if you didn't see it, like, he pretty much just floats on defense. He squares up with a guy occasionally, but he's like floating around the free throw line, to your point. And there's a dude who's nowhere close to him. And I'm telling you, it's a half-step arm up, he blocks him.
But this is the versatility. They play him in the high post. He's in the low post for the rebound on every shot because he's that big. He only has to be halfway through the lane to get his arm up by the basket.
He doesn't have to jump, by the way. He just puts his arm up, and he's bigger than everybody.
It's amazing to watch. And he's got ball skills. He can handle the ball at a pro level.
Yeah,
and he's quick.
That'll be something to watch.
Casey said he looked like a giraffe. I think it's a pretty good way to explain what he looked like out there. It's he needs a little more muscle on it. He's got to grow up a little. He's like 12 years old.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He looks good.
I saw it. I think Michael Jordan made his NBA debut like 39 years ago today. I think I saw something either yesterday or today.
I wouldn't know.
And he had 16 points in his debut.
That's it?
You know, my first thought was like, everybody scores 16 points in the NBA. Like, everybody. And he became Michael Jordan. So Wembanyama scoring 15 last night doesn't mean anything.
I will say back then, not everybody scored 6. Like, those games would be like 80 to 87
What you're
back
saying
then.
is if we were...
People played defense back in the mid-'80s.
Not all the time, man. I watched many games where it'd be like 140s, 30. I mean,
I don't know, man. Outside of Showtime Lakers,
Denver Nuggets
I can't remember.
Okay,
fine.
that way.
Okay. But, like, there weren't that many running gun teams back then. Man, Wembanyama. He's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think he is. It's cool that they have. Really, what I was getting after was like, is there anything else that's piquing the. Like, James Harden just isn't playing, right?
Oh, there was a great story out of Philadelphia. I guess the team getting on the plane to go to their game tonight, Harden was met by security. They told him to kick rocks. They wouldn't let him on the plane.
What a weird career path for him.
Super weird.
Like, him and like Kyrie Irving have some interesting. Ben Simmons is on the, but Ben Simmons isn't really. He's like gone.
Good night from Ben Simmons last night.
He played.
Oh, is he?
Played for my Nets.
2 for 4 from the field.
2 for 4 from the field.
9 assists, 10 rebounds, Brent. He was the point guard.
That's
7-foot point guard.
The triple single.
Those other guys. I guess what I was trying to do is not put Harden and Kyrie in the class of Ben Simmons.
Well, he had a double with the rebounds.
I'm sure he had a block.
But Harden, you could talk about a guy who, like, early on in his career, everything was pointing to Hall of Fame status. And, like, what a weird route it took.
Had the beard, had everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nothing. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
The World Poker Tour is here at Best Bet Jacksonville through November 14th. Don't miss your opportunity to become a World Poker Tour champion with 14 poker tournaments, including the Best Bet Scramble, the $5,000 no-limit hold'em main event with a $1 million guarantee, going on now through November 14th. There are still lots of great satellite opportunities to play. Visit bestbetjacks.com for the full World Poker Tour schedule and for more information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It is finally here. One of the biggest rivalry games of the year returns to Duval this Saturday. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We will be there for all the festivities, and for many, this game, it's Florida-Georgia. For others, it's Georgia-Florida. Either way, we're kicking off this epic rivalry game with the ultimate tailgate experience at the Duval House. Whether you're decked out in orange and blue or red and black, join us for the pregame tailgate experience. You don't want to miss it. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
Play a little pool, watch some football, eat wings, and, of course, plenty of adult beverages. Perfect Rack Billiards is the place to be on game day and every day. Now open for lunch at 11:30 on Friday and Saturdays. Daily specials like 75-cent Wing Wednesday, $3 Draft Thursday, and $3 Seltzer Saturday. Pool, darts, shuffleboard in a fun, clean atmosphere at Perfect Rack Billiards. It's your Jags game day headquarters. 10 wings and a pitcher for $20 and a free shot with every Jags touchdown. It's up to the Jags to score. It's up to you to have fun at Perfect Rack Billiards in Jacksonville.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast, and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-one-fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
It's old school card collecting with new school breaks. Davoli's House of Cards does it all. Missing a card from an old 1987 baseball top set? They probably have it. Want to join in on a live TikTok break with the hottest new cards? You can do it with Davoli's House of Cards. Stop on by, talk some sports, find your favorite cards for your kids or for you, like when you were a kid. From Trevor Lawrence rookies to Pokemon and more, Davoli's House of Cards on 210. And join their live breaks on TikTok at Davoli's House of Breaks.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. Tonight's gonna be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah. My season's back when I'm a wild. The Marvel Spider-Man 2 official video game soundtrack is out now. Featuring Swing, performed by Grammy and BET Award nominee artist Earth Gang, and featuring Benji. Produced by Oscar and Grammy Award winner D. Mile. Be sure to check out the most anticipated game of the year, Marvel Spider-Man 2. Available only on PlayStation 5 now. We can go pound for pound. We can go round for round. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Deshaun Watson says he won't need surgery on his right rotator cuff, but he also doesn't know exactly when he'll be able to play again for the Browns. P.J. Walker starts Sunday against the Seahawks. The Bucs open the new season tonight, hosting the 76ers. Milwaukee right behind Boston as the 2 preseason favorites to win the title. ESPN's Tim Legler says both teams made big additions. The Celtics moving on from Marcus Smart.
They replaced Smart's defense with Holiday, yet they get more ball handling, playmaking, better shot selection, fewer bad, quick threes at inopportune times. And so that's going to be Holiday's role. And then I think for Porzingis, what you saw last night is a lot of what he's going to do. He is the perfect complimentary player.
Tim Legler on Freddie and Harry. Xavier basketball coach Sean Miller signs a 2-year extension. His deal now runs until 2029. Ottawa center Shane Pinto gets a 41-game suspension from the NHL for violating the league's sports wagering policy. Pinto apparently did not make any bets on NHL games.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up Friday, I'll tell you who's going to win the World Series and which players will have the biggest impact on the outcome. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me. Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, we got a big lineup tonight. Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton after this show, and then Thursday Night Football right here on ESPN 690. As I asked that question, I'm like, who the heck's playing again? Oh, yeah, it's the Bucs and the Bills.
Bucs and the Bills.
You sure?
Yeah, they are.
Saw it on TV a second ago.
I know. I just wanted to see if we could get them.
We got Jaguars All Access, 7 o'clock at String Sports Brewery. Evan Ingram will be there.
Easy!
Yeah, we moved Jag Social from Friday to Thursday because of other festivities tomorrow night with Florida and Georgia. So 7:30 on Fox 30, Jag Social. And then we have a special edition of The Blitz on this Thursday night during Florida-Georgia week. We'll be on the social media channels starting about 8:45 tonight for an hour or so on everywhere you can get Action Sports Jacks and ESPN 690. And then we do have a special edition 11:15 version of the Friday Night Blitz on a Thursday. So how about that?
Shout out to whoever's doing audio at Action tonight. You're going to be there all night.
Yeah, no breaks.
Sorry about that. Is this still, what's my man's name? Brad? Is Brad still doing audio down there?
You got one person doing audio at your TV
there's
station?
a lot of people doing audio.
It's going to be like, I would take that job. That seems easy.
I actually don't think Brent knows what he's talking about.
Just running like one or two faders. That's the whole gig.
One or two faders. Listen, you're talking to the guy that ran Weekend Audio here.
Okay.
One or two faders.
Was it complicated?
There's weather too. There's 3 faders.
What was more difficult, running the board for this or TV?
10 times that.
Really?
Yeah. Because the whole thing, basically, what it is in TV is like. This is how they teach you to do it, is if you're not talking, your mic's off. So, like, right now, your guys' mics would be off. But if you try to talk right now and I don't know it, that's why you read the – see, I didn't get it. It's hard. That's why you read the script.
Yeah.
That's why if you ad-lib from the script, it sometimes gets cut off. I'm not talking to you, Brent. You usually read the script.
Wait, when you what from the script?
Ad-lib.
Okay. I thought you said ad-lib. I was going to write it down.
No, ad-lib.
Okay.
Brent was pretty good at reading the script. Your TV partner not so good. You know what I'm saying? Read the script, buddy.
Read the script, buddy. He might be listening. Yeah, sports guys are tough on the TV side because we actually do ad-lib quite a bit. I've told you that story before. I used to just put ad-lib in every script, and then they were like, well, you got to put it in for closed captioning.
Oh,
and then one day I put the Red Sox suck in there and got called into the news director. I told you that before. I didn't. I did that
story at all.
Okay, yeah. I think I just told it recently.
In all fairness,
I don't want to be that guy that tells like the story.
No, you did. You told the story recently.
In all fairness, I will forget it in another 3 days. You can retell it to me next week.
And he'll laugh just as hard.
Seriously, it's a funny story.
It is kind of a funny story.
Shout out
Especially when you're like 6 months into the business and the news director calls you and you're like, I did what?
I like that Kasey's talking about reading the script as if he didn't read the script and got caught one day. Did that ever happen? You get caught unprepared, not reading the script?
Oh, well, so then that's where it comes back to, if you're being serious, I don't know if this is a setup, but I'm going to be serious.
I don't know if this is a setup.
No, because
I can appreciate you being worried about it, but no, I'm being serious.
No, here's the thing, because the producers downstairs who, you know, some are okay, some stink. I'm just going to be real with you. I don't work there. You got to put whose name in the script is supposed to read, because not only does the anchor need to know, they can see it on the iPad. That's great. The audio person doesn't need to know.
Yeah, master control.
Everybody needs to know what's happening.
The director needs to know.
If I don't know who's reading, both mics are open. And if somebody happens to cough, guess what? You screwed it up, buddy. There was a
Sounds
lot.
like a perfect job for Case.
There was a lot of, who's this? Who's this? From the audio room. And the producer just sitting there on their phone. Do something, bro.
I think those jobs are trickier. Like you did.
Shout out Blake and Nat. They did a good job.
What's the harder? Is teleprompter hard?
No.
Well, it's not hard like a job, but
Like
it's hard to stay
running the
awake.
teleprompter?
Yeah, because you got to stay awake.
See, here's the thing. Everybody says it's hard to stay awake. I just watch something on my phone.
It's kind of like how you run the radio show.
Basically, yeah. Like, teleprompter's not hard.
So you could multitask is what you're telling me.
Absolutely. But, like, also, what's cool is you shouldn't, like, if you suck at it. But John and Tanika kind of read at the same speed, which is nice. So, like, you kind of just let it go and do its thing. I will say there's a couple other anchors there. One's not there anymore. Definitely did not read at the same speed. One was like, boom, 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 boom. And the other was like.
I feel like Kasey would be the one. Kasey would be the one to write the tell-all book.
I would, 100%.
There's some fun stuff about like TV. Here's our favorite one that because we do ad-lib quite a bit, right? So then when you get lost, if you get lost in the prompter person,
it's a disaster.
And then you think you're going in a certain direction. Well, I will say the biggest problem we have is from out there, you're trying to tell them where to go.
Yeah.
And so you'll be like, go up in the prompter.
But up is actually down in the prompter.
On the prompter is actually down.
Yeah, because it's scrolling up, but you're trying to get down to the script. Yeah.
So
you'll be like, go up, but that doesn't mean go up.
It does not communicate well. But in our world, it's like, go up, like just get to the next script. But
up is down.
It does not happen. Up is down on the prompter.
James thinks you're one of these guys who would put something weird in the prompter.
You can't. Well, I guess you could change it, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's all imported, right?
Yeah, and you really don't want to do that because again,
that's your job.
Closed caption stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that part of it. It's just difficult to keep it rolling and put in there like you suck, Brent,
Listen,
and see if you read
I'm
it.
not trying to be insensitive, but if the closed caption people are the problem, how are they going to know? They can't hear what happens. They can only read what you put in there. They don't know that there's a difference there. Now, your bosses would know.
Well, yeah, I think that's what ends up happening.
Kasey, okay, Kasey?
The other thing about this is, you just said you could throw some stuff in. Well, a TV partner on occasion, when we do like an ESPN 690 tease and is writing the show, will throw something in there. So I have to double check. I do have to catch it.
That's my kind of coworker right there. I love that.
Yeah.
TV, great place.
Love it.
So, hey, I'm somewhat infatuated with this final game before the bye week, right? It just feels like such a halfway point for the Jags.
I'm with you only because it could do like one of two things, right? It could either like set the table for some rest and relaxation, well-deserved, going 6-2 into the bye, or don't you feel like it could kind of turn things around in a bad way if they're not careful?
You know, it's funny you say that because I'm thinking no. Like, I don't think – I really don't know if you can go into the bye week from a level-headed perspective, right? I get everybody wants to be 6-2 now, and you think you're better than Pittsburgh, but we also know it's the NFL. If the Jags were to lose and they're 5-3, I just don't know how you could sit here 1 month later from when they were 1-2 and be like 5-3 is a bad place to be. I mean, you're still in first.
I'm with you.
You're going to be in first in the division. You control everything ahead of you. The only angst, Aaron, that I would have with the Jaguars being 5-3 instead of 6-2 is the fact that San Francisco's really good. And so you're going to come out of the bye, and that's going to be a big challenge. And so going into the bye, you lose. Coming out of the bye, you lose. Now you start scratching your head. But behind door number 3 is the Tennessee Titans.
The get-well game.
Well, potentially, right? You got the Titans at home, and then you do have Houston after that before you hit a very tough stretch. Yeah. So what I would sit here and say right now, if the Jaguars, before they get to December, so after Thanksgiving, that Houston game, if they're 7-4, would you take that right now going into Cincinnati, Cleveland, Baltimore in a row?
Yeah, I don't mind the record going into the bye week at 5-3. I'm saying, like, the vibes are good. The momentum is good. Everything is pointing in the right direction. And then, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if something bad happens into this game, going into the bye week, you go out on a bad taste, but you spend the bye week trying to get right again. And then you wonder, coming out against San Francisco, if that doesn't go right. Now you're sitting at 5-4, and sure, you got a couple of games on the schedule, but Tennessee is a rivalry game.
But it is also a get-right game.
It is a get-right game, but it also has the smellings of a trap game.
Potentially, but I will say...
How did they lose 2 in a row?
Yeah, it's not really a trap. It's just not going well.
That's fair, yeah.
I mean, listen, if they don't beat Pittsburgh, they don't beat Pittsburgh. But I will say, other than the fact that the record's better, 6-2 versus 5-3 is you're arguing for best team in the league versus just another team at 5-3.
Well, at 5-3, you're also worried about other teams in your division like the Colts and Houston.
Well, I don't think that. See, as this sits right now, it feels like it's falling apart in Tennessee, and I don't know if they're going to remedy that. They just don't have the goods to do it.
It sounds, based on the reports, like they're really trying hard to sell right now with D-Hop and Henry.
The Colts,
thing they signed up.
The Colts are 3-4 guys. They've probably played a bit above their head anyway, and the Jags have swept them. So things would really have to go sour and really go well. Sour in Jacksonville and well for Indy to catch them, given they have 2 games in hand, right? So you have a 2.5 game lead essentially right now over the Colts. So this really is about the Houston Texans. Now, what do they do coming off their bye? Are they going to hit a spot where they just keep getting better or stay the same, or are they going to hit a little lull in this first year with D'Amico Ryans and Stroud?
Well, Stroud's playing more football than he's ever played, so.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's the one. So if they go to 5-3, right now, Houston's right there with them.
Carolina this week for the Texans.
Yeah, Panthers for the Texans.
So they're going to be 4-3, right? I mean, basically 4-3.
Then they go Bucks, Bengals, which are probably 2 losses, if not closely played.
Yeah.
Cardinals, which is at home, a win, most likely. Then the Jags at home in Houston.
So hold on. So if you just did that, what we just predicted, you said 4-3 over Carolina.
Yep.
You think they're going to lose to Tampa?
I believe they'd lose both those games.
All right, so 4-5.
They're one down.
And then Arizona would be 5-5.
Mm-hmm. They are 500.
The Jags would be, we think by that time,
maybe
at worst 6-4.
At worst 5-4 or
6 because Tennessee's a win.
Yes, okay.
So 6-4 at worst versus 5-5. That game would be massive.
Massive.
Because
that's for first place.
Because you'd have the sweep by Houston if they win and a tie. Like massive.
Which is not a tie because you swept the Jaguars.
Well, yeah, but they only have to win by 1 game. Yeah, you just can't tie them.
And by the way, playing out the rest of the season for Houston, they follow that with the Broncos, which is likely a win.
I mean, last place schedule.
The Jets, which is a tough game, but could be a win for them. You don't know. The Titans, likely a win. The Browns, who knows where they're going to be at, but likely a loss. The Titans again. And the Colts. It's not a hard schedule for the Texans.
Everybody plays the Titans twice at the end. Like, who are the Titans playing early? Because it's not the AFC South.
They have 4 bye weeks in a row.
Yeah,
and
actually,
they still lost 3 times.
You're right. They're 0-1 in the division. They've only played 1 division.
They never that's so weird.
But to the point, they've got 5 winnable games down the stretch.
They do. They're just not an automatic win team. You know,
You're
they
right.
still have warts.
You're right.
But I also don't necessarily think they're going to automatically lose to the Bucks and Browns and whoever else you said.
It was the Bengals.
Bucks. The Bengals. I mean, I just don't know if that's an automatic thing. I mean, Houston could be right there. So right now it feels like the Jags are in a perch. They're the best team in the division. They were expected to be the best team in the division. They're 5-2. They are sitting in first place in the division. I guess that's where this swing kind of happens. If they lose to Pittsburgh, they bring Houston right back into it.
Yeah.
If they go into the bye at 6-2, put a little pressure on Houston to keep winning games to even make that a game when they play on Thanksgiving weekend in Houston. But that game, guys, by the way, it looks regardless is going to be a big game for the Jags in Houston, which nobody would have predicted that, I think, on Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, Man of the Year odds flipping after the Houston Texans are good. What do you have to say, Aaron?
Which, by the way, I did this the other day. It turns into a scary game for the Jags because they can't beat them.
Yeah.
They just haven't beat them a lot.
They struggle there.
Outside of when they had the golf clubs and vacation plans last year, and they took it to them when the Jags were on a run, Jags have not been able to beat this football team since 2017 for whatever reason. And this hasn't been like a powerhouse team.
I will be so upset if Houston wins the division, Jags finish second, and my bet's just flipped. Oh, I'll be hot.
But, here you are 2 years plus into Trevor Lawrence, and you've never seen him come out flat in a big game. Even a game like the playoff game with the Chargers where he comes out throwing those picks, he still didn't let it finish him off.
I just don't think there's nothing in this whole deal that feels like it's going to be a cakewalk, even to the AFC South. Now, unless they were to win this game, if they win this game, 6-2 feels like a really good spot to be.
Pole position.
Really, really, really good. So I think that maybe you're right. This game does matter in that context. Here's the other thing I was thinking about. What hasn't happened yet for the Jags that you would like to see happen to make you feel good? And this could be Devon Hamilton playing Sunday. But I'll start it off and I'll say, how about Evan Ingram catching a touchdown pass? Yeah, it's pretty wild that he doesn't have a touchdown pass, even though he's getting the ball thrown to him a lot.
You actually texted that to us earlier today, and that shocked me. I was like, wait, Evan Ingram doesn't have a touchdown yet this year? But yeah, that's crazy.
At some point, he'll get one. I keep going anytime touchdown.
I would like to see Ridley put.
At some point, it's going to hit. I promise you. I promise you it will.
I would like to see Ridley put a full game together that looks great.
That's interesting.
Because we've seen it in halves and quarters.
Look like a star.
I want to see the stat line from game one, but I want to see it spread out over the game.
Kasey, you got anything?
I would go Devon Hamilton. I just think that where it finished last year, where it was tracking in the preseason, I think you get him on the field and he's fully healthy. So I would say give it a week or two when he's back. And if he happens to play this week and then the bye coming into San Francisco, we'll see. But that guy was dominant, man, and they paid him for a reason and a good reason. So that defense that we think might be elite gets that much better when he gets on the field.
I got one for you, even though I just gave you one.
Oh, cool.
Trayvon getting 2 sacks. Makes you feel like the man has woken up a little bit.
That's actually really good.
Can you just call it like the Trayvon play? Like, is there a play in there to be made? I'm saying, like, Josh Allen is the one who's made the play this year. Josh Allen made the play last year.
A play is good. I want to see a dominant game from Trayvon Walker. Even if it's not stacked together with other dominant games, I just want him to remind me why I'm bought in. Because I am bought in, and I'm feeling like I'm one of the only people left.
Fair.
I like what you're saying there, because the one thing, well, it's not the one thing. The thing that really Trayvon is missing, and this is why this is relevant right this moment, because of the trade deadline coming up and everybody talking about it. And in the context of this question, if they were to win the football game and Trayvon Walker has the best game of any pass rusher out there, TJ Watt, Josh Allen, Highsmith, and he's the dominant guy.
That'd be great.
That would make everybody feel good no matter what happens on Tuesday or before Tuesday. And it might be a short-lived everybody feeling good, but that actually is the one thing that could make more people feel good than anything else. Because I think Kasey's on. I think Devon Hamilton playing, significant. Because it also gives the Jags their full defense of front and kind of at least get a peek at what they do have when everybody plays. Dewan Smoot, Devon Hamilton, and the rest, because they are pretty healthy up there. I think your Ridley one is good, too. It's like, hey, this might be the start of the takeoff, right? If he has a big-time performance, makes some big plays, now you're going into the second half and you're like, hey, I agree with you, Brent. He is going to take off right here. I feel really good about it. Alex says, and I'm not sure he's wrong here, this could be a good one, too. If Trev in Pittsburgh against that pass rush has a big day.
And by the way, their secondary is good, too. Joey Porter Jr. is doing great.
300+, 3 tutties, something like that. You're like, hey, he's about to do what he did last year in the second half of the year. So I think these are all good things. This team has already done a lot of good things. But I think those are really good things to see. If any one of those happen, you feel good about where the football team is going. Obviously, a win.
Can you say, on that same point, I know the offensive line played well last week, but if they do it again.
If they do it again, you feel like they're trending in the right spot.
Against TJ Watt and the boys.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Isn't it funny, like, all these things, they're 5-2 and they're in a good place, and we think, like, I saw a power ranking, someone had them number 3 in the league. I was like, whoa, number 3. But some people have them 5, some people have them 7, whatever it is. They
Between 3 and 8, I think.
They're certainly in that conversation right now after winning 4 in a row, and we said they keep winning on the road. So they're in the proper place. But yet we just rolled off like 4 or 5 things that, those are realistic things that could happen that would make you feel even better about the football team. See, that's what I like right now about the Jags. The Jags are a good to very good football team based on their record, what they're doing relative to the rest of the league. But there's a lot more upside in this football team than they've actually shown. Like, there is stuff out there. Like, coaches say that. Oh, there's stuff out there. It's never perfect. Oh, I get that. But there's, like, kind of like low-hanging fruit stuff that you could easily get from this team.
Not just that, but those were some of the things we just listed were some of the things that were supposed to kind of define this team this year. Big games from Ridley, pressure on the quarterback from a guy like Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen simultaneously, stuff like that. The offensive line playing better. The expectation was this is who they were. And so wanting to see that kind of makes sense to me. But to your point, at 5-2, it's almost like luxury items at this point.
Well, now you just triggered something else in my mind. You are going against one of the best tandems, it looks like, in the NFL from a pass rush standpoint. Sure. Maybe it's not just Walker that's a dominant player. If Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker play better than those two guys and dominate the game or show up big in the game more than Watt and Highsmith, doesn't it relax even if it's not all Walker, doesn't it relax your feeling of like, we need to get Danielle Hunter, need to get Brian Burns.
It's got
need to get one of the Commanders guys. Like,
Or, I mean, just get better. But also, you take into account the Steelers' offensive line stinks.
It really is
like
bad.
Awful. Bad.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem to matter when the Jags. Like,
I'm just
the two worst
stating
offensive
facts.
lines or players that the Jags have played against are Houston, where they didn't do anything in terms of getting to C.J. Stroud. And last week against Derek Carr, they had one sack. It was Smoot. Now, Josh Allen did dominate his guy, but Trayvon didn't. So it's been funny, like, when it looks on paper that they should dominate, they haven't, which is typical NFL.
Like, I would say, I'm not, I would say if they dominate an offensive line and then it cools down by the trade deadline, I say it doesn't, because just imagine those two dominating and then another one.
And then another one.
Because that's the thing with Trayvon. You can all be on the field at the same time. That's what Trayvon gives you if you go get another guy to put on the outside, because you can just keep Trayvon on the field in a different spot.
Yeah, when people would read the paper, I would always like to say, like, what's going to be the headline, like, on Sunday night, Monday morning, right? And I guess where you go with this is, yeah, Kasey, I think you're right. I think people would still be like, go get another one. Okay, make it even. But I think if it didn't happen, or if it's a very moderate level player rather than one of the big names, I think people are like, that's cool. Look what just happened. These guys are about to cook. Where our defense is already playing great. We're 6-2. It makes you feel better. If Trayvon Walker was going to have a big game, Trent Baalke would sign up for this game to be it. Because it would take a lot of pressure off him.
Sure.
To make the decision whether you should go get somebody or not and everything else. And I'm not telling you that it would say they wouldn't go get anybody even if Trayvon. But here's the deal right now that we know on Tuesday. If the Jags get to 4 o'clock on Tuesday and they go get, give me a moderate level guy that they could get. Like
Jonathan Allen, who cussed out his team.
Justin Houston.
Yeah.
Montez Sweat.
No, but those aren't moderate level guys. Like, those are big names.
It's reported today it takes a 3rd or 4th round pick to get him. That's pretty moderate.
Okay, but I'm thinking like, who am I thinking of? Like, let's just say Frank Clark was still available and they end up getting Frank Clark. Okay, somebody like that who
feels pretty moderate.
It doesn't get you excited, right? It's like, okay, we'll see, but then get me excited. Yeah. I think people are going to be disappointed if they add a player that doesn't have some pop. Like, because there are so many big names out there, like Hunter and Burns and Sweat and Chase Young. Like, those are the guys. Right now, in the psyche of the fan here in Jacksonville, it's those guys or nobody is going to make me happy.
It's interesting because reportedly the first two aren't even available at this point.
Yeah, Hunter and
Burns.
And Burns, yeah.
So call Washington.
It is pretty interesting that Hunter, because we get these odds of, like, where a player is going to end up. Now, Burns was on the odds list, but Vegas doesn't have even, like, at least the thing that we got sent. Danielle Hunter wasn't even on it.
Yeah.
So, I guess, they might not be selling him.
The beat reporters out of Minnesota are like, they're sitting on Hunter. They're going to keep Cousins for next year. They're going to re-sign Jefferson and try and figure it out like in a bridge plan. And then on the other side of that, the Panthers reporters today were all talking about how Burns isn't on the table.
Who would you rather have, Chase Young or Montez Sweat?
Chase
Young.
He's better. He's more injured, but he's better.
Sweat's a good player.
He is.
Frees up Trayvon. Sweat's a little. I think they're better suited if they could move Trayvon in, keep Chase Young outside. Montez Sweat, you got to put him in. I think best case scenario.
One more thought before we go to break. We were talking about Pittsburgh. I mentioned Joey Porter Jr. has not allowed a quarterback to have a higher rating against him than 46.5.
Wow.
That was week 3.
Playing well.
Tell you who was against.
Playing well. That defense can be good, but I'll tell you what else about that defense. They're built a lot like the Bills. We might talk about this more. They give up a lot in the run game.
A lot.
This could be a Travis Etienne game.
Should be.
Nice.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny and breezy today with a brief shower or two. Highs reaching into the lower 80s, dropping into the 60s tonight, and a partly sunny and warm Friday. Highs tomorrow between 80 and 85. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's incredible buy one, get one on wedding bands now through October 31st.
It's the future of joint pain relief, and it's here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine, and it's amazing stuff. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, well, don't be so fast to go there. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. And we're talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back. Play pickleball, go for a walk, play golf, play with the kids. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and you want to stay in motion. And QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. All you have to do for a free consultation, call 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. In Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Meet Mike Lester.
Talent is not going to be the right choice for every single person out there, right? Because everybody is different. We do well when our clients do well. We're literally sitting on the same side of the table with them. We're in this together.
Yeah.
When you do well, I'll do well. Once we have that understanding, then we can come up with a plan that's designed to help you be successful in retirement.
Find out more at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Florida license D056341.
Valor Bare Knuckle is back in Jacksonville. The legend Ken Shamrock playing host, and the card is highlighted with a heavyweight bout. Valor Bare Knuckle highlights combat sports in its truest form. It's one night, October 27th, and it's at UNF Arena, an intimate setting surrounding the electrifying bout circle. October 27th at UNF Arena. For ticket information, go to valorbk.com. Don't miss it. Raw, electric, exhilarating. Valor Bare Knuckle 2 in Jacksonville, October 27th, valorbk.com.
Make a change for our next generation. Apply to become a mentor for at-risk youth in Jacksonville at the Malavia Washington Youth Foundation. Call 904-359-5437 for more information. Again, that is 904-359-KIDS.
Hey, poker fans, you're in for a treat this October at Best Bet. With over $690,000 in poker promotions paid out this month, this is no time to be on the sidelines. Highlights include the $400 GoPo 400 with $40,000 guarantee at Best Bet Orange Park, the $100,000 guarantee St. Augustine Championship, and the return of the World Poker Tour $1 million guarantee at Best Bet Jacksonville. For all the details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Time to hoop it up and swoop it up with the Ospreys. Men's and women's basketball, the opening tip is almost here. UNFospreys.com for your season tickets. Plenty of options in the beautiful UNF Arena to watch a fun brand of basketball. Season tickets, flex plans, and premium seat and suite options are available. Matthew Driscoll and the men's team always play an exciting brand of basketball. And welcome new women's coach Erica Lambert to UNF Arena. It's the busiest home slate in the D1 era. More than 30 games at UNF Arena. See one and you'll want to see more. UNFospreys.com.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 lifeguard protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Car Bravo is here at Nimnick Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnick Buick GMC has joined the Car Bravo family and is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. Hey, it's a win-win for everyone. You always win at Nimnick Buick GMC. I've always won 6 different cars purchased
for our family. Terrific selection of used cars under $20,000 at Nimnik. Experience Used-phoria with Car Bravo online at nimnikbuickgmc.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690, and you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Welcome back to Brent Friends, ESPN 690. Eric Schachter, Brent Martineau, Kasey Kuhrts. And you know who we're bringing into the showcase. We got to get the nest all made up for him, get all the sticks laid out, get some duck kibble going. I don't know what ducks eat.
Worms, right?
Oh, okay, worms. But we welcome to the show Ducky Bets.
Us ducks, we eat money, man. That's what we eat.
So not worms.
I feel like that's a bad way to handle the money. You spend so much time trying to win the stuff, and then you just go ahead and digest it. It doesn't seem like it's a smart investment.
Keeps us sustained, man. Keeps us sustained.
Fair enough. Duck, how you doing, man?
I'm great. I haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks, right?
Been a couple of weeks. Yeah, Brent was off vacationing in New Orleans last Thursday.
My man's all over the world, man. All over the world.
Yes, we are.
Hanging out in the French Quarter. Did you do any French Quarter partying last week, Brent?
No.
I never asked.
I did eat on Bourbon Street.
Congrats.
Cool.
The Bourbon Street was kind of dull.
Yeah.
On the Wednesday prior. And
probably better that way.
Bourbon House. It was recommended.
Bourbon House.
Redfish was fantastic.
Ooh.
Redfish.
Yeah. It was great.
Cool.
Anyway, okay. Well, Duck, we're
not
gonna
like worms.
I don't think worms taste good at all. Duck, we're going to do something a little bit different a little later on called Fantasy Card Breaks. If you haven't heard of it, basically what we'll do is we'll pick a couple of numbers that Kasey has laid out. Each number corresponds to a team. And then you have to pick a player off that team you want on your fantasy team for the week. So if you pick the number 4 and the team that corresponds with 4 is the Titans, you would have to pick someone on the Titans you want on your fantasy team.
God bless you.
This is good. You should have. Well, one, if you get the Titans, that's things. You should apply for FCB.
Oh, okay.
I heard they need good people.
All
So
right.
you just really described it well.
Here we go. But yeah, so you got to build out your team that way. And granted, if you take Derrick Henry from the Titans, then you filled your running back slot, and you can't take a running back next time. But before we get there, Duck, I want to know what's on your agenda for the week, man. What games are sticking out to you?
So there's two specific games that. Well, actually, there's a lot of games this week because you guys know how I am. I like the underdogs. So there are a lot of home dogs this week, but there's two specific games that kind of stick out to me. I'm going to speak first on the Jets and the Giants. I will say though, if Daniel Jones is the quarterback, I'll probably just stay away. But if it's Tyrod Taylor, man, I love Tyrod. I like the Giants +3. Tyrod just covers. I don't know if you guys have seen, but he's 60% ATS against the spread in his career.
That's wild.
And this goes up. Yeah, this goes up to like 63, 64% when he's an underdog. The Giants, they've performed way better with Tyrod at the helm. He's actually 15th in expected points per play in the NFL. Daniel Jones was 32nd before he got hurt.
It's cool that they gave him $40 million for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a good look for the Giants, but and then if you've seen, like, he's been connecting with Darren Waller. Darren Waller's production has jumped significantly. He was only 38 yards per game with Daniel Jones. He's up to 75.6 now with Tyrod Taylor. And the Jets are a bottom 5 team against tight ends. I always like to target them. So if you have Darren Waller on your fantasy team, that's a good guy to play this week. So yeah, I do like the Giants here at +3 and Darren Waller score a touchdown, maybe a little sprinkle on the money line. Why not? And this is me fading my own team in the New York Jets.
I like that.
That's pretty wild. That's it's interesting. That defense, for whatever reason, the solid defense, Gus Bradley defense, the unwashed defense, that defense just tight ends seem to eat it up. They have. We watched it for years and years here in Jacksonville, and so that's a great call on Waller because Waller has been very disappointing, and Daniel Jones not getting it to Waller is very interesting. So I didn't know the numbers had gone up so much with Tyrod Taylor. Smart play for the veteran quarterback to get it to a weapon.
I always wondered why Tyrod Taylor never got better opportunities in the NFL.
Did you really?
He's always been good where he's been. Yes. He should have gotten the shot with the Chargers, and then they punctured his rib. Before that, he was with the Bills. He looked good with the Bills. They tossed him out of town.
Yeah, 9-6 to Jacksonville. That's how good he looked.
One game.
They
Tyrod
replaced him with
Taylor's a
Josh
good
Allen.
Good
Gosh,
quarterback.
this is throwing me in the Wayback Machine here. I used to do this all the time in
With
Jacks.
who?
People
people on Twitter here in Jacksonville, and they love Tyrod Taylor more than the guy that whoever they always want to bring Tyrod. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why you want
good guy.
Tyrod
He's a
Taylor.
leader. His teammates always love him. He doesn't turn the ball over really at a crazy rate. Like, he's a good quarterback. He reminds me a lot of Charlie Ward in that respect.
He's a good backup quarterback.
He's a good
better
backup.
than a good backup quarterback.
No, he's a good
He's a
backup.
good backup quarterback.
Better starter than at least 3 or 4 quarterbacks out there. Right? Better starter than Pickett.
Well, the way things have worked out.
Better starter than Zach Wilson. Well, Zach Wilson had 105 quarterback rating recently.
Yeah, so we've got 0 so far.
Better starter than Pickett.
Desmond Ritter.
Better starter than Desmond Ritter. Duck,
I'll give you Desmond Ritter.
Come on. Jordan Love? Give it to me, Case.
Not yet.
I am not here for the Tyrod Taylor stuff.
All right, Brent,
Like,
you
listen,
can be a hater.
I'll give you Josh Dobbs.
Better starter than Josh Dobbs.
Listen, the bottom line is you just said
this too.
The best thing that ever happened to the Chargers really is that he did get a punctured lung because they found Justin Herbert earlier than they would have.
28 losses. Is that really great? I don't know.
32 with Tyrod. Yeah.
Tyrod would have won.
Sam Howell, worse than Tyrod Taylor. Come on.
Here's the deal, Aaron. You will get a lot of people around here and across the country that agree with you. And I think y'all nuts.
But it's not us. It's not me and Bert.
All right, Duck, what else you got?
So I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to say the Jags this week. They're just in the toughest spot possible. They've been traveling, as Brent knows, for 3 weeks straight, right? And this is just a really tough spot to face Pittsburgh at home. Mike Tomlin's the underdog god in these scenarios. As a home underdog, he's 62% on the money line, 16-10, and 78% against the spread. And you're getting +3 here for the Steelers.
Is it now +3? Wow.
Yeah, it might have gone down to +2.5, but I've seen it. I don't know if we can say sports books here, but BetMGM, I think they have it at +3 right now. PointsBet has it +3, but yeah, so there's a couple books out there that have it at +3. And it looks like the Jags are a little bit juiced on that -2.5 anyway. So it looks like the books are trending towards that +3 number. If it hits that 3, that's a huge key number. That's a number I'll probably be on. I do think it's a field goal game. Not saying that the Steelers are going to win, but I think that they can cover here. And the back door is always open.
Hey, give us those numbers again, though. 62% as a home dog on the money line, and then 70 what?
78% against the spread.
Oof, wow. That's nuts.
That's a lot of percentage.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel good about Sunday.
Look, trends are made to be broken, fellas. Come on.
There's always that other 22%.
I told you the Calvin Ridley stat. Come on. We know the run defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't great. We got all the reason in the world to think they're going to win it. Don't listen to Duck right now on this
some
one.
trends are meant to be broken.
I'm not saying they're going to lose, man. Not saying they're going to lose.
Cover. I get it.
I get what you're saying.
Jags win by 2.5. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's really weird. You know, if somebody said this, I don't know if it was you guys that said it or somebody on Twitter that said it feels like Pittsburgh's a little bit like last year's Minnesota Vikings
I said that. The man of the year said that.
Oh, sorry.
Was that you?
It was me yesterday.
Is there anybody else a little bit fraudulent right now with their record that could, because Pittsburgh doesn't feel like this is a 5-2 versus 4-2 matchup, but like, you know, so would Jags and Baltimore, and that would feel like much more of a major matchup than this one does.
That's actually a good point.
Pittsburgh just does not feel good enough to be 5-2, to be honest with you, if they were to win this game, and maybe they find a way. But is there anybody else out there right now that kind of is in that same boat? Cleveland?
I would say Cleveland for sure. And,
Seahawks.
And the Falcons. The Falcons feel a little fraudulent as well.
Falcons sitting right now first place at 4-3.
Yeah, they just don't feel like a great team, but also no one else in the AFC South is any good. I mean, the NFC South, sorry. NFC South is any good. So, I mean, they might ghost walk to a division win there, but Falcons feel fraudulent, man. Desmond Ritter's not – I don't care if he keeps getting these fluky wins. He's just not that good.
You just said the same. You said Seattle. That's an interesting one. Like, is Seattle good? Did the metrics say Seattle's should be 4-2?
144 points for, 118 points against, 2-1 at home, 2-1 on the road. I mean, nothing's really standing out as, well, that's kind of wackadoo, but they're not playing like they normally do. The offense is not really clicking like it should. We were talking about DK Metcalf in the break recently. He's not showing out like a 20-plus million wide receiver might do. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been nearly invisible, as most rookie wide receivers tend to be.
Good.
Here and there, though.
Yeah.
Not as consistent as he was before the injury.
Yeah, they've been beating up on bad teams. They beat up on the Panthers, the Giants, and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Those are three of their –
Yes.
They beat up on bad. So
just kind of a soft underbelly
there. The Browns is a tough spot for them this week for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how that game.
And it's interesting now take Atlanta out because I don't know. I don't think Arthur Smith's that great, but the two teams we just talked about, Pittsburgh and Seattle, they have two coaches that know how to win. And so when you match them up against like pretty mediocre teams, I think they're probably going to outcoach them and find a way to get a W. And that's kind of been the case so far, although Pittsburgh was able to beat Baltimore, and those division games can be tricky. So pretty wild. All right, give us where to do this fantasy card breaks. Your first time ever, Ducky. You're gonna roll it off. You got an 8.
So here's the
player team, right? 8 players?
Yeah, I'll take it from here, Brent.
All right,
Appreciate you.
He said, "Sit down, young
players,
man."
quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, some 3 flex and a super flex. As Aaron described, the numbers, the cards, and then the teams will give you. You'll pick players off the teams. No givesy backsies to speed the process along. Aaron, you're going to pick Ducky's numbers.
I'm going to pick it by his name. So Ducky Bets. D is a 4. All right?
You can't. Oh, my goodness.
U is a 21. Tell me when you're ready.
This was such a bad idea. You can't do it.
Yeah, the way you just did this is so bad.
Me?
Yes.
Because then I have to go 21 back to 3. It makes no sense. Just pick numbers.
All right.
Want me to do this for you?
C is a 3. How about that? You're so mad. You want to count to 11? Is that too hard for you, Case?
3, 4, 11.
Let's go.
Now we're cooking.
Y is a 25.
Sure.
3, 4, 11, 21, 25.
2.
Sure.
It's a B. 5
Yep.
is an E.
Let's go.
How many more?
One more.
T is a 20.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 21, 25.
All right, Ducky, here's the deal. I'll tell you the team. You give me the player you want. No givesy backsies. You have the Ravens first. Who you taking?
Hit me with the positions again.
Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, 3 flex, and a super flex, which can be quarterback. Your first
Ravens
team
a
is
tough
the
pick.
Ravens.
It's a tough pick.
So 3 flex and a super. Okay, Lamar Jackson.
Which would be like what people do, except tight end is a tough spot to fill. Mark Andrews is pretty good to fill it with.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Tony Pollard.
The Chargers.
Palmer.
Interesting.
As in Josh?
Yes, correct.
Or Kiki. Who else would it be?
I'm just confirming he did not want Keenan Allen. The Steelers.
Yeah, I was going to be like, okay.
Steelers.
Pick Najee, Duck. You're so brave. Pick Najee.
George Pickens at the flex.
The Jets.
Got to go Brees.
Yeah, I'll take Brees at the flex.
Okay, you got a wild card, Ducky, which means you can have any player in the league.
Whoa!
Quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end. You can also pick a quarterback at Superflex. You can pick somebody.
Is this cheating happening right now? Is this cheating?
Aaron, you've played for 4 weeks. Maybe
I never heard wild card 4 weeks.
I've had it.
Just maybe pay attention to the rules.
Let's do Mahomes. Give me Mahomes at Denver.
Good idea.
I mean, Denver's defense is stout. So.
You need a tight end and a flex, and you have the Indianapolis Colts.
Give up 17 touchdowns.
And then one team after.
Colts
should I risk it? Should I risk it with that tight end, man? All right, let's do for the Colts. Let's do Jonathan Taylor at the flex, and then I'm just going to risk the tight end. We'll see.
Your tight end is from the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, it could be worse.
All right. That's not bad.
You could have picked Kelsey with that wild card.
That's his name. I'm blanking on the tight end's name. There.
We'll get you the Bengals tight end.
Don't worry.
Irv Smith.
That's correct.
There we go.
Irv Smith. That's your team, Ducky. Fantasy Card Breaks, fantasycardbreaks.com. It's just that simple.
Fantasycardbreaks.com. So, yeah, we keep an eye on it. And
you'll get an email, Ducky. Don't worry.
Had 50 people in play last week for the pot.
A little more than 50, Brent. It was in the 60s, and a lot of spots were played out. The dirtiest. Yes, the dirtiest. You may remember from a couple of cameos on the show.
Yeah.
Walking away with a lot of money. So
like how much?
He only got 3rd place. I know what 1st place got. And
where's my big win money from?
Couldn't count it on 5 fingers, Brent. You had a second hand if you want to know how many.
Whoa! Where's my money from the Raheem Mostert week?
You never had Raheem Mostert, even though you thought you did.
Are you guys sure?
Yes, positive. Checks in the mail.
Okay.
Ducky, have a good weekend, man. Appreciate you jumping on.
You too, guys.
See you, Duck.
Ducky_bets. FantasyCardBreaks.com, by the way, with Divoli's House of Cards. We just got Ducky involved.
I want a wild card.
He's gonna like it. He doesn't even know it yet how much he's gonna like it.
Case, before I pick numbers, which one is the wild card again?
There's 3 wild cards in there.
Which ones are remaining?
I got to reshuffle.
Just tell me when you do. Okay.
You want the wild card?
I want both of them. Yeah.
Do you remember when this moron was like 21, 3, 47,
He totally
2?
made that.
Spelling Ducky.
Like, for a guy who's done radio for a long time, he made that very challenging.
It's not my fault that Kasey dropped out of school at 7th grade.
Because here's the thing. When you choose 3, 21's not 21 anymore. Because then I got to go back and do it again. So 21's really 20 at that point.
Yeah,
so
well,
really, you goofed this guy's whole thing up.
Had you prepared, you would have written the numbers on the cards. Then you don't got to count.
So then it's cheating.
Hey, Kasey.
If you would have prepared, you would have wrote down the numbers corresponding with the alphabet and then gone in the correct numerical order.
Kasey, in his defense for a living, he says, I'm Aaron Schachter.
And
this is Journey.
And it sucks every time.
Keep going on our journey on ESPN 690 next.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
From selling out of the back of a car to one of the biggest outfitters in the Southeast, Baker Sports is quite the story. And on a daily basis, they are helping you write your story with a high school name or sports team across a uniform and so much more. And now it's a one-stop shop with Baker Sports, carrying Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. They already make you look good, and now they can help you look better than ever. Baker Sports, custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team. And it's easy to do at bakersport.com.
As a roofer, I've got a million things to do, and that's a million things that need to be done right. That's why I partner with Beacon. The team at Beacon makes sure my materials are delivered accurately and on time. And the Beacon Pro Plus app makes ordering the brands I depend on, like CertainTeed Landmark Pro, easier than ever. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase CertainTeed through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
Play a little pool, watch some football, eat wings, and, of course, plenty of adult beverages. Perfect Rack Billiards is the place to be on game day and every day. Now open for lunch at 11:30 on Friday and Saturdays. Daily specials like 75-cent Wing Wednesday, $3 Draft Thursday, and $3 Seltzer Saturday. Pool, darts, shuffleboard in a fun, clean atmosphere at Perfect Rack Billiards. It's your Jags game day headquarters. 10 wings and a pitcher for $20 and a free shot with every Jags touchdown. It's up to the Jags to score. It's up to you to have fun at Perfect Rack Billiards in Jacksonville.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. If you're looking for a real solution to your thinning hair or hair loss, call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS.
Find out what's causing your hair to fall out. Can your hair grow back? What procedures or products will work? Get to the root of your problem with IHRS's Hair and Scalp Analysis. This analysis magnifies your hair and scalp 400 times to see what procedures can restore your hair. Stop wasting money on solutions that don't work. IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years. They're the only clinic to offer the trademark multi-unit hair grafting, PRP platelet-rich plasma, and the NeoGraft FUE hair transplant procedure. Real solutions, real results.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com. Hairforme.com.
It is finally here. One of the biggest rivalry games of the year returns to Duval this Saturday. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. We will be there for all the festivities, and for many, this game, it's Florida-Georgia. For others, it's Georgia-Florida. Either way, we're kicking off this epic rivalry game with the ultimate tailgate experience at the Duval House. Whether you're decked out in orange and blue or red and black, join us for the pregame tailgate experience. You don't want to miss it. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Thursday it is already. Can't believe it. 5 o'clock hour. Here we go. Not yet. 8 minutes away. Football at 5.
What are you dressing up for on Halloween, Brent?
I hate Halloween.
What?
Have we done this before?
Nope. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I think Halloween's dumb.
You're not going to dress up?
No.
Not even on TV? They don't make you do some goofy TV thing?
Thank goodness, no.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
How about you? Are you an adult dresser-upper?
No. Halloween's dumb.
I love this guy.
But I'll tell you what.
Kasey,
my
are you
kid,
putting Blue in a costume?
Oh, the dog's going to be in a costume for sure.
Yes.
My dog's going to be in a costume too, by the way.
Your new dog?
That's my wife. That's all my wife.
Already?
Yeah, and I have a theory about this, by the way. Not just the costume. She bought the costume the day she got the dog.
Oh, my gosh.
So basically, she just wanted to see the dog in the costume.
I'm pretty
This
sure.
was planning.
But I actually have a different theory as I watched the dog chew all pieces of furniture last night, like going from chair to couch to table, chew, 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 chew,
That'd
chew.
be expensive.
And I'm sitting here going, my wife only got us this puppy so she could get all new furniture.
you are one heck of a conspiracy theorist.
Fairly sure. She's watching this because she'll say no to everything but the furniture. She'll be like, no. And then the furniture, she's like, all right, this is okay. That's fine. We need a new couch.
If we did a poll on do you dress your dog up for Halloween, would it say most people say yes or no?
Most people would say no.
Kasey?
What?
Yes or no, most people?
About dressing their dog.
Most people would say no.
Yeah, most people
Really?
would say no.
Yeah.
I bet
I
you
feel like I see a lot of that.
less than 25% of the people who answer your poll will say yes.
But there's like 8 billion people.
Yeah, that's
Some have multiple dogs.
He's getting 8 billion votes on Twitter?
No, I'm just saying how many humans there are. So, like, you know.
Do you, so the, do
Most
the
dogs
kids know
will
what they're
not
going to be
be
for Halloween?
costumed.
Yes. Well, the young girl is being Princess Peach from Super Mario. My son is Miles Morales, the cartoon Spider-Man.
That's cool.
My oldest daughter, I forget what she's going to be. She wants nothing to do with us this Halloween. She's got her friends going on.
That's cool.
And the dog's going to be a candy corn.
Blue's a chicken.
Aw.
But like a cooked
Thought
chicken.
it was a dog.
Brent with a dad joke.
That is hilarious.
It's pretty good.
Will you buy candy to give out? Do people come
No.
knocking on your door?
People don't actually knock.
They
no.
know better.
Guys, I will be coming here with buckets of candy come next week. I will steal every piece of candy from my kids.
That is the greatest part of Halloween.
Oh, man, it is.
Like, I do think Halloween's overrated big time, but that part's fun.
Listen, October 32nd is the day I teach my kid about taxes. The tax man cometh, and he taketh Reese's Pieces.
Really? Reese's Pieces?
All of it.
Reese's peanut butter
I'll
cups.
take anything.
Not
Big
a
difference
Pieces.
between Reese's Pieces and
bro.
Reese's-
That's a good pull.
Bro, I'll do a Brent impression and take a payday at that point. Let's go.
No.
I don't like Reese's Pieces. Reese's peanut
It's
butter
not
cup.
shocking.
It's amazing that people like you.
Brent's knocking on
I'm
doors.
not really sure they do.
They're handing out like
Fair.
M&Ms to him. He goes, I'm sorry, do you have any room temp water instead? Maybe some trail mix in that
How
bucket?
about 8 billion gram or whatever that thing's called?
1,000.
1,000 grams.
Can you guys bring me one of those, please, on Wednesday after trick-or-treating with your chicken? Football at 5. George Pickens.
Who?
Slamming
Carl.
the Jags defense.
Wow. He's not the only one, by the way. Did you see Tyson Alualu?
I heard about it. Whew. What are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back. We'll talk about it. We're coming for you, Pittsburgh.
Come on.
Next on ESPN 690.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisor fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, thank you for your service.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to find out more.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Hand and wrist pain is often caused by daily activities and overuse. One of the most common conditions is carpal tunnel syndrome. The symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome can include numbness, tingling, burning, pain, or a loss of strength. JOI has innovative treatment and surgical strategies for carpal tunnel syndrome. The team at JOI can treat other hand, wrist, and finger conditions and injuries like fractures, sprains, dislocations, and arthritis. The orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or learn more at JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Time to hoop it up and swoop it up with the Ospreys. Men's and women's basketball, the opening tip is almost here. UNFospreys.com for your season tickets. Plenty of options in the beautiful UNF Arena to watch a fun brand of basketball. Season tickets, flex plans, and premium seat and suite options are available. Matthew Driscoll and the men's team always play an exciting brand of basketball. And welcome new women's coach Erica Lambert to UNF Arena. It's the busiest home slate in the D1 era. More than 30 games at UNF Arena. See one and you'll want to see more. UNFospreys.com.
Get into the game at Best Bet. Come enjoy the best in-card games, hospitality, and fun at Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park. You don't have to be a poker pro to have a great time. Featuring poker games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and Pai Gow. Wager on exciting simulcast races and enjoy delicious food and drink. Our card rooms are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. and 24 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hello out there, all you hard workers. It's me, Pete the Job Guy.
And Angie, the boss.
And together we run Ascendo Resources, the best staffing agency in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's right, folks. We can help you with accounting, finance, technology, administrative, anything you need, we can help on a temporary, temp to hire, and permanent basis. So call the true professionals today at 904-663-2654 because you deserve it.
Jay is a foodie and a chef.
I'm a food truck owner with dreams of something bigger.
And at Community First, we get that. And we get you. We were founded over 88 years ago to help members live their best lives by providing the financial services they need. Today, that includes digital banking, great rates, and local decision-making.
So just be yourself.
At Community First and on the go. Learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Member NCUA.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. He tried to play Sunday against the Colts, but now Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson is only focusing on rehabbing the rotator cuff strain in his right shoulder. Watson says he doesn't know when he'll be able to play again. Week 8 kicks off tonight in the NFL with the Bills hosting the Buccaneers. The only two NBA teams who haven't opened their season yet will play tonight. The Bucks host the 76ers. Three-time NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas is expecting big things from Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, and the Bucks.
With amazing pieces around it, which is going to make it hard to really game plan for a starting five like that. I don't know why his destination was Miami, but sometimes what you want is not what you really want, because this is 20 times, 100 times better than if he went to Miami.
Gilbert Arenas on unsportsmanlike. Ohio State running back TreVeyon Henderson is ready to play Saturday against Wisconsin. Henderson's missed the last 3 games with an undisclosed injury.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
All right, football at 5. Didn't the Pittsburgh Steelers learn this years ago? Don't be downplaying the Jags.
Yeah.
Jags went in there in the playoffs and whooped them.
And that was
it ended up being 45-42, but it felt like they whooped them.
You talking about the year they beat them 2 weeks before that, too, right? That was the Garrard year?
Season,
the
yeah.
Garrard run?
No. That was different. Okay. But they did do that. But then 17.
Oh, you're talking 17.
They beat them up there, and then they beat them up there again.
Because that year was 45-42?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow. I don't even remember that.
Over-under of 100. But I remember when I was traveling with the team, that was that Pittsburgh year that Garrard had that huge run, and late in the fourth quarter, won the Jags the game, then they beat them in the playoffs. It was great.
Let me just double-check 45-42. I'm pretty sure it was it. And what the underrated play in that game, in the postseason game, that I don't think people really pay too much of mind, was a field goal to go up 10, I think it was, by Lambeau. And it wasn't easy. Kicking in that place has always been the hardest place to kick in the National Football League, I believe. And he drilled it. I think it was in the mid-40s. It wasn't anything crazy long, but still, it was a money kick at the time because the Steelers at that point in the fourth quarter were starting to find it. They were going up and down. And to be honest, 45-42, they scored when the clock struck 0 or 1 second
so
or
it
something.
Wasn't as close as it seemed, yeah.
My point being the kick iced the game, if I remember correctly, when it felt like Pittsburgh had some momentum. So it was a money kick that because it wasn't a game winner, I thought it was one of the clutch kicks that I've seen. And Lambeau made some, but I thought that was a super clutch kick that nobody really references in the context of that football game. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts. George Carl Pickens, that is. A really talented wide receiver.
Yesterday, some of the chat was like, I'm so confused. Why are they talking about the old head coach of the Nuggets? Love it.
That's a good call.
That's us.
Good stuff.
But Pickens is very good, and we think he's the primary weapon, right? Freiermuth is out of this game.
Yes.
And Johnson is questionable.
I should actually give you guys an update on the injury report.
I guess we've got the injury report.
Here's the deal. Tyson Campbell practiced limited basis. Andre Sisco the same. Hamilton full again. That's 5 straight practices of full. Are we going to see Devon Hamilton?
I hope so.
Zay Jones did not practice. I don't think we talked a lot about this in the early part of the show today. You can always check it out, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast, or go back and listen right here on Twitter, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Action Sports Jacks. But it looks like he's not going to play. They'll hold him out and maybe be on the other side of the bye week. Gregory Jr., who's now been activated, that 21-day window coming off the IR, he practiced in full, so that's a good sign for him. Trevor limited, Walker Little limited, and Braden Sheriff limited. Now, listen, Sheriff and Lawrence were limited and played last week. I don't know what this means exactly for Walker Little. Be interesting to see if he gets back in there at left guard for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's played a few snaps and then got hurt in that left guard spot when Cam Robinson came back in the Buffalo game.
So
be a good game to get him back.
Fascinating to keep an eye on that. As for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Joey Porter Jr., calf limited, Cam Hayward limited, and Deontay Johnson did not practice.
With a hamstring issue. Not that he's a burner to begin with, but wide receivers kind of love those hamstrings.
Well, yeah, but they're running out of dudes then. They can't run the ball. If no Deontay Johnson, no Freiermuth, that's a guarantee. I mean, yeah, all I'm saying is it projects nicely.
So what I'm getting to here is Pickens is really, to me, the guy you've got to keep an eye on, right? I mean, he is the one that can hurt you.
George Karl.
You staple Cisco to the top and you let the corner run up against him.
You don't really think Pickett's going to pick you apart. And Najee Harris just hasn't been that guy. I mean, especially against this defense, do we anticipate that happening? I would say no.
And I know you guys love Pickens, but specifically Pickens this year, he's pulled off these big numbers that he's had in those games, but by chunks. So he'll do these large 30-yard catch, 40-yard catch once or twice in a game, and then the rest of it's somewhat pedestrian.
Yeah, that's how they beat the Ravens on that long play, but that's why it's dangerous if you're playing a one-score game, if you're playing a field goal game. If that's what they're going to play for 3.5 quarters, that scares you if the Steelers have the ball last because Pickens makes plays.
Yeah, he does. I get it. But in this context, he was asked about the pass defense of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We just did this earlier in the show as well. Their numbers are kind of, well, they're not really good if you just look at the stats. 31st in the NFL, I think it is, in pass defense. And
that's what Buddy says here in the question, Brent. Didn't cut the question out, just so you know. Can't talk to you any other.
But the bottom line is, we were saying, one, they've stopped the run so much that people have abandoned the run. Mm-hmm. They've also had multi-score leads in all the last 4 games, which means people are giving up on the run and having to chase in and comeback mode to the tune of 55 pass attempts by Derek Carr, 55 pass attempts by Gardner Minshew, and 40 attempts by Josh Allen. Here's the long and short of it. If Kenny Pickett throws 55 times, the Jags feel really good about their chances to win this game. And that's why some of these numbers are ballooning to 300-plus yards and 300-plus yards and 300-plus yards. But the turnovers tell the story, and the fact that they're playing from ahead tell the story. So George Pickens today up in Pittsburgh was asked about this Jaguars pass defense. Take a listen.
George, why has Jacksonville been susceptible for the pass? I mean, I think they have one of the worst pass defense, especially the last 3 games. I think they're last.
Yeah, I think their D-line, they depend on their D-line a lot. With their team, having a lot of first-round guys on that D-line, that's what they depend on a lot. And they kind of, hope, hope the guys hold up long enough, hope. So it's kind of a hope defense for sure.
It's a hope defense.
He sounds like one of these national analysts. Does he know what he's talking about?
Well, what I just retweeted when I saw that, it was like, does he watch the film?
Apparently not.
Like,
the hope is up front, not in the secondary.
I was going to say, if you're hoping anything, is that what he was trying to say?
No, I thought he was basically saying the secondary isn't anything scary. They just hope the front can get to the quarterback in time.
Wow. I mean, it's totally the opposite read around here.
Totally.
The fact that
the coverage
needs
to last long enough.
Played excellent.
Yeah, and the coverage needs to last long enough for the front to get home.
And really has. There's been some coverage sacks, and what everybody here in Jacksonville's complaining about is the pass rushing getting home enough, right? So,
and I know you guys love George Karl, but I'm sitting here going, he's also kind of shown himself as one of these clowns over the last year or two. He's out there saying stuff all the time that he hasn't really been able to back up yet.
Listen, I don't know what it. I mean, it is what it is.
It's hard to know what he's saying when they use that microphone. That was awful.
Yeah, it's
sound like me now.
I mean,
here's the deal: the Jags are. It's kind of a weird place, right? The Jaguars. I thought coming out of Thursday night's game, I thought they got some respect. But what it turned out to be is they're on a 4-game win streak, the second best in the National Football League. We said earlier today, 6-game win streak on the road, tied with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've won a bunch of games the last 14, 15 regular season games dating back to last year. They made a playoff run with an epic comeback against the Chargers. They have a very good coach who's won a Lombardi trophy. They have a franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence that just continues to get better. Etienne's a touchdown machine lately. This defense leads the league in turnovers. Aluakin's one of the best linebackers in the league, and nobody knows it. Josh Allen's having a monster season. I mean, all these things. Yet you do have people taking shots at him. From an analysis standpoint, Trevor, he's taking notes and he's bouncing back and clapping back a little bit. And then now, like, this defense all of a sudden is a bit under fire because they're like a fraudulent defense.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything fraudulent about their defense at all. They stop the run at a very high rate, which is what everybody wants to do in the National Football League. And they get turnovers now all the way back to 2022 when this thing started under Doug and Bob Sutton's on board and Mike Caldwell's a DC. Like, that's been a consistent thing. They went a 3-game stretch without turnovers, and that's it. Other than that, they have had turnovers plentiful under Mike Caldwell. So it's more their identity of the football team. Like, I don't think any of this stuff is fluky is my point. Like, I think we've even had to be convinced of that at times. But they just might have given the Jags, who are just kind of cruising along here after a long weekend, a lot of ammunition this week. Trevor from the national analysts, and now a guy like Pickens trying to motivate this defense that right now doesn't appear like it needs much motivation.
No, seriously. Pickens by himself is going up, especially if there's no Deontay Johnson. Pickens out there going up against the 3rd highest graded cornerback in the league in Darius Williams, and potentially, if Tyson Campbell plays and is feeling well, an all-pro caliber corner on the other side of the ball. What is he talking about?
Yeah, and some people are telling me that several, like, I'm more upset about the reporter asking the question in the context that he did, you know. But
thought they were going to say the microphone.
Oh, maybe the microphone for you, Kasey.
But worse, man.
Listen, that's people that don't, you know, maybe he should have done a better job of putting it in context, but he kind of opened it up for Pickens to interpret it. Pickens could have easily have said, well, here's the deal, man.
Yeah, how
they've
could you
been
blame
way
that on the
ahead and
reporter?
everything else. So
No.
I was a little surprised by Pickens' response to that. And I don't think the Jags need any waking up or any extra motivation. They seem like they're pretty motivated to just win football games and take care of their business. But we're going to have Evan Ingram on tonight, and I think he's just going to chuckle about stuff like this, right? I think these guys all know they don't really get the respect. They are an underrated group. I say it all the time about Doug Peterson. I don't think there's enough respect around the National Football League for Doug Peterson. Trevor Lawrence is always going to get some shine. I've seen some lists now that people think he's a top 5 quarterback right now, top 4 quarterback. So
I'm one of them.
There might be some people that are also saying, hey, he's not elite, but he also gets some love, and Trevor's going to get love. I don't think enough people have talked about over the last year Etienne.
No.
I don't think enough people are talking about Oluwakin. I don't think enough people, now Campbell missed the last game, might miss this one too, but I don't think enough people have talked about him. I think Christian Kirk is an overlooked guy, and he wears it, the chip. Evan Ingram is one of the best tight ends in the National Football League over the last year, and I don't think people even think his name when talking about it. So, man, this team just has a lot of fuel for the fire right now. I mean, they're already a chip. And I will say this is why they like Thursday night games, because they do want respect. You know, I came out of that Thursday night game saying the Jaguar, I think Foye Oluwakin made the Pro Bowl last Thursday night. This is a guy that gets no Pro Bowl mention, love, whatever, from his peers around the league. I think what that game the other night showed, the splash play, and now everybody's talking about how good he has been anyway. It's like, you didn't even know this guy was that good before this play. Well, now you're going to know. Yep. Let me tell you this. He led the league in tackles with Atlanta. He led the league in tackles with the Jags. He's probably going to lead the league in tackles again. And he delivered a play under the lights. Like, I think that carries so much weight that you're going to see this boost a little bit for a guy like Oluwakin, especially if the Jags keep winning, to make a Pro Bowl this year. But you could argue he should have made the Pro Bowl for a couple of years.
Yeah,
totally. I mean, Rayshon Jenkins had a Pro Bowl-less kind of season last year, and they don't know what's going on in Jacksonville.
I just sat here and named 3 guys in that secondary. I didn't even name Rayshon Jenkins, who himself is playing very well this year.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good secondary. I don't even understand what Pickens was trying to do there. Is it possible he was just making it up because he didn't have the information, or was he trying to talk a little smack?
Is it possible he just got asked a question he was not prepared for?
That's what I'm saying. Or was he talking smack? Was he trying to light him up a little bit?
Well, listen, young guys don't handle it probably as well. Other old guys or older guys or guys who've been around know how to get out of those questions or dance around it a little bit differently. That's why I asked you guys, like, do you think he was really trying to do the opposite, saying, well, they are trying to get their pass rush going, and the secondary has been holding it down, but he really didn't lead into that at all. I mean, he just said this is a hope defense. Like, hope defense. Is that what you call like a bend but don't break but lead the league in turnovers defense?
That is not what you call that, no.
Because what would you call the Steelers' defense? I mean, they're 28th in the National Football League in giving up the run.
I'll tell you what you wouldn't call it. You wouldn't call it good.
Well, it feels good, though.
No, the pass rush feels good, and they have one good corner, but they don't play teams with tight defense unless they're bad teams, with the exception of that Ravens game, which was close. Let me. You raised a point I didn't even think about as you talk about Foye Oluokun, and no one really talks about him. I'm going to read you the league leaders in tackles of the last 7 or so years. You know these names. People talk about these guys. Quan Alexander, Demario Davis, Bobby Wagner, Shaq Leonard, Budda Baker, Jordan Brooks, Zaire Franklin, and Foye Oluokun. If Foye really one of the most underrated, disrespected names, I think, around the league for what he does.
Yeah, I would say a guy like Zaire Franklin, though, I think he's in the same category. I think it's the tackles thing. I'm not necessarily sure it's a player. I think it's a tackles. That category, I don't know if it just carries weight. We love stats, but tackles don't mean anything to people. Nobody comes out of a game and looks up, hey, how many tackles did that guy have, right?
That's fair, but what Foye did last year, 128 tackles, you hadn't seen that number since 2007.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Patrick Willis. Like, the dude is a machine.
Well, I think, again, this is about, I mean, who gets a lot of love linebacker-wise across the league?
Like a Roquan Smith.
Fred Warner.
Yeah, I was going to say the San Fran linebackers, and they're good. By the way, they're really good. They earn it. A Zaire Franklin guy, he's a good player.
And he's getting love.
But I think it takes a while for that position to get love, you know? I don't know.
CJ Mosley.
Is he still getting love?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Well, at least in New York he is.
Like Quincy Williams starting to get love.
Man, he's playing lights out.
So,
well, historically, you had him. You had guys like Ray Lewis and Patrick Willis and those guys.
Well, you had some major star power. I'm just not sure we've had that kind of major star. Like Bobby Wagner was. And now, since guys like Bobby Wagner, if you go back to what you're saying with Ray Lewis or, I mean, heck, all the way back from Singletary, we've had some monster names at the linebacker position. I just don't know if right now the linebacker position is getting that kind of love in general across the league. And I'd have to look a little closer on that, but I just don't feel it. But this guy, Oluokun, they rave about him in that locker. Oluokun's different. Oluokun's just people don't know about him. He played in Atlanta.
Yeah, he's undercover.
And he played here in Jacksonville, plays in Jacksonville. But I'm telling you, I think he really took I don't know what kind of step, but it was a major step Thursday night. But we asked it going into that game, which guy is going to make a name for himself? Because we knew there were a lot of underrated players on the Jags. And it turns out that Oluokun was the guy. And I think Kirk did a lot for himself, too. I think Kirk, because everything was about the contract. And then what happens in a broadcast like that, on that stage, you make the big play, and everybody starts looking like, what has he even been doing? Oh, wow, he had better numbers than what those guys have been saying in Jacksonville about DK Metcalf. Yeah, you're right. He does. He has better numbers than that guy who's making $24 million a year. But you have to go talk yourself into that stuff. And Oluokun has been every bit of that for the Jags. What I came away from thinking on that Thursday night was he's going to get a lot of respect around the league. But I was more blown away with, and I kind of knew this, how the teammates reacted to the fact that he made that play. They love the guy.
Yeah.
They absolutely love the guy. And Evan Ingram was the most, maybe one of the most poignant sound bites in a long time. He's like, he is one of the best in the world at what he does. He might be the best in the world at what he does, but he's even better as a leader. I've never seen anything like it.
You got to buy that.
I mean, that's unbelievable. That's the trickle down in that locker room, right? Of why the Jags have a great locker room. Guys like Foye Oluokun.
It just seems like they've cloned all these great personalities in that locker room. You don't I was thinking about this. I saw a Travis Etienne quote today. He was saying, "Hey, if I get 30 carries or 2 carries, I don't care as long as we win." And in my head, I'm juxtaposing that on Breece Hall's tweet when he got 4 carries.
Yeah,
right. Or at wide receiver, a guy like Christian Kirk who happily steps aside for Calvin Ridley to take the target share, or Evan Ingram or Zay Jones, to be one of 6 pass catching options versus a plethora of wide receivers who we've seen over the years who demand more targets. Stephon Diggs earlier this year. You're never going to see a guy like Christian Kirk do that.
Well, you're not going to see – it doesn't feel like you're going to see this locker room vocal like a lot of – we were talking about that earlier in the year with the Jets when things were falling.
Derek Carr taking a dump on Chris Olave versus what Trev will do.
You don't see it, but I'm going to tell you this, and don't be fooled by this. They all want the damn ball.
Of course.
They want the Calvin Ridley is not extremely happy that he didn't have a lot of targets last week. And that's just, he wants to help, right? That's the nature of it. He also he's in a contract year now. This is a performance business. And Etienne might say that, but if Etienne was sitting here on 4 carries, in back-to-back weeks, there'd be something up.
I don't think it's illegal for people to feel that way. I just don't think you're ever seeing Travis Etienne go on Twitter. And talk about it.
It feels that's right. I would. That's the maturity of this room.
Yes,
this locker room to your original.
With guys like Foye driving that bus.
Now, here's the other thing. We'd be all over everybody for Etienne if he got
fair.
4 touches.
That's fair.
Because honestly, I don't even think the 17 last week was enough. This is a great spot for Etienne. Etienne had 53 touches in London. I was like, uh-oh, look out. Now he's going to come back home against Indy. Then he's got to go to the Saints. He's going to play 2 more games in a 10, 11-day period. That's a lot of touches. You start adding that up. He was on pace for like 100 touches, and he already had more touches, I think, than anybody else in the National Football League.
And he's still on that pace.
But now that's okay because he had 17 last Thursday night, got a chance to break, and now you can give it to him 30 times. I'm going to actually be disappointed if he doesn't get the football in his hands 25 times or more in this football game, because then he's got the whole bye week to rest too and get ready for the next phase of this season, the second half of the season. So this is the game to feed him. This really is. And against a team that is allowing 142 a game against the rush, 28th in the National Football League. And I'll continue to pound this home too. I want to see him get the ball in the passing game.
Yeah.
So Etienne, man. Etienne all day. Get it to him. Make him part of it. I think this is a big Etienne game. Plus, it could be a little wet. So
is the rain in the forecast?
Could be some rain in the forecast. So get the football to Etienne. Let's get South Beach Gary on the line real quick before we hit a break. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. What's happening today, South Beach Gary?
Hey, guys, imagine the blowout win. I love the chance in Denver. Who's your daddy to the Lakers? that was beautiful. Hey, guys, I want to touch on one more thing real quick. Bart Starr once had this game, and then Lombardi just lambasted him in practice. And after practice, Bart Starr went and closed the door to Lombardi's office. He says, "Don't you do that ever again. I have to lead this team. I have to have the respect of this team. Don't you ever, call me out in front of my teammates because I'm the leader of this team. You have to give me the respect to prove I'm a leader." What I'm getting at is this week where Shanahan called Brooks out at the coach about he blew it on the play where he did an all-out blitz and the touchdown pass. He blew the call. Do you like that, or should that be behind closed doors? Or airing the dirty laundry out in public is what I'm getting at. Are you a fan of that, or should that be done man-to-man behind closed doors?
Thanks, South Beach Gary. You guys going to do this interpretation?
Yeah, sure. I got Nuggets, Daddy, Bart Starr, Lombardi, respect, touchdown pass, behind closed doors.
That's pretty good. I got Bart Starr, I got all-out blitz, and I got closed doors. But at one point, I swear to you, he was underneath the ocean.
At the beginning of the call.
I'm positive we went to South Beach live from the Atlantic.
That was an antenna problem. Brent, back to you on the analysis.
Thank you. I will now answer the question. And the question
good, because I don't know
that is asked about closed doors or not, about calling out a coach or anybody else. I would say I believe, while we like it in the public eye of, oh, yeah, accountability and all this stuff, and it is an accountability sport. I will say this about football. Football's more accountability-driven than any other sport there is out there.
But don't you think when they talk about that, they talk about owning up to what's on the game tape, not necessarily calling a dude out and throwing him under the bus at a press conference?
Well, and that's kind of where I'm getting to. I think when you call opposing players out, when you call a coach out, somebody else on your side, it's a bit cringy for me. Because my initial thing is definitely keep it in-house.
Yeah.
Definitely keep it in-house. And it's okay. Whatever happens behind the scenes is fine. And I don't know this, but I felt like at times last year, I think while everyone else was getting frustrated with Mike Caldwell's defense and not figuring out that other corner spot, I kind of got the sense that even Doug Peterson was too. And I have no idea what ended up happening there, but I'm sure there were some tough conversations at times when people are running crossing routes all over the field. And then they had to change things, or kind of makes you think a little bit more outside the box, and then they do make them, whatever it is. That's part of it. That's part of anything. That's part of any team, group, whatever. But I don't like when they call people out in front of the microphone. It just seems unnecessary to me. You can accomplish the same thing if you do it behind closed doors. What it does seem like to me is when that happens, when you don't want to take accountability, right? So which is a bad example as a head coach.
Oh, yeah.
Or when the Heat start to get turned up. And didn't it feel like with Mike Vrabel in Tennessee, you see his interaction with the reporter?
Yes.
it feels like it's starting to get cranked up a little bit in Nashville.
The seat is hot.
I don't know about hot. I'm just saying he knows he can't win with what he's got.
Nobody could.
And that's a bit of a problem, right? He does not like her. And he did a good job of he almost went deeper into that.
Yeah.
And then he pulled himself back in. You could almost sense. Yeah. But he is not feeling good. This is the most stressful time he's had as a head coach yet.
Yeah. I'll tell you who else is doing a Mike Vrabel cover song right now. Arthur Smith feeling it in Atlanta. Really snipping at reporters with the whole Bijan
Robinson thing.
Yeah.
It's a little goofy to me.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's weird.
We'll be back.
Yeah, 15, boys. I was hyped when I saw it was up.
You guys were both rocking to this one here.
Dude, when you guys were doing whatever you guys were talking about, I was sitting here going, burn it, with the mic off. So
I will be singing this later tonight in my house.
This thing is gas. You hear me?
This is not Journey. This is ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and mild tonight, dropping into the 60s. A pretty warm Friday under partly sunny skies. The afternoon high in the lower 80s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's incredible buy one, get one on wedding bands now through October 31st.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
You promised.
I took the garbage out.
No, I'm talking about all the work we need to get done around here.
I know. We need a new roof and we need replacement windows.
How about a new bathroom and some overdue remodeling?
And how are we supposed to pay for all that?
My sister said she called Remodeling Loans and they were able to find her certified contractors.
That's great. But how'd she get the money to pay for all that?
Remodeling Loans offered 0 interest for 60 months. They even have payment plans with 0 down and 0 deposit.
Looks like we're getting a home makeover.
Great! Now, if I only knew someone to call for a husband makeover.
Really?
Remodeling Loans is the #1 leader in home improvement financing. Call 800-921-1403 today for a no credit check, no risk approval. Get approved today and we'll match you with the best contractors in your area. And remember, no deposit financing is now available. Call 800-921-1403. 800-921-1403.
It is finally here. One of the biggest rivalry games of the year returns to Duval this Saturday. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We will be there for all the festivities. And for many, this game, it's Florida-Georgia. For others, it's Georgia-Florida. Either way, we're kicking off this epic rivalry game with the ultimate tailgate experience at the Duval House. Whether you're decked out in orange and blue or red and black, join us for the pregame tailgate experience. You don't want to miss it. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be present in a state where lawful to wager, must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money
money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Time to hoop it up and swoop it up with the Ospreys men's and women's basketball. The opening tip is almost here. UNFospreys.com for your season tickets. Plenty of options in the beautiful UNF Arena to watch a fun brand of basketball. Season tickets, flex plans, and premium seat and suite options are available. Matthew Driscoll and the men's team always play an exciting brand of basketball. And welcome new women's coach Erica Lambert to UNF Arena. It's the busiest home slate in the D1 era. More than 30 games at UNF Arena. See one and you'll want to see more. UNFospreys.com.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts, tools, accessories, and supplies quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store, or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-775-5622. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-775-5622. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-775-5622. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Football 5 rolls on here on a Thursday. Again, we got a big lineup tonight. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up next.
Yeah, the
7:30 coverage of Westwood 1, Thursday Night Football. We've got the Bucks and the Bills.
Still the highlight overtime. What's next?
Then 9 o'clock, or at 8:45, we're going to stream only the Blitz Scoreboard Show Special Edition, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, Baker Sports, and Davoli's House of Cards.
Still the highlight. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. On the radio, you know what I'm saying?
And then 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30, another special edition of the Friday Night Blitz move to Thursday. So what happens is they do Thursday and Friday blitzes.
Okay.
Or high school football
You're
on
selling
Florida
out for the
Georgia
Blitz,
week.
yeah.
Because of security on Florida Georgia week. So they can't get enough security on Friday nights in Duval County.
I did not realize that. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
pretty cool.
That's what it's an educational program if you hang out with me.
I literally learned that today.
So
liked it.
Busy few days here in Jacksonville.
Busy.
At the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame luncheon tomorrow.
Good luck, Brent.
I'll be emceeing that one too.
Good luck, man.
Usually
What do
good
you mean
food.
good luck? Don't you want to hear what he has to say at his
You have it
speaking
prepared.
engagement?
Well, I mean, yesterday when I said, "Hey, Brent, who's getting in?" That reassured me that this was going to go well for Brent. So, good luck, Brent.
Thank you. I need it.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Todd Gurley's in town tomorrow, not for the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame luncheon.
That is the best piece of information you've ever gave anybody.
Do you think
Sounds like
we're
Kasey
going to
has
get
a mini helmet?
I can tell you where he's going to be. Do you?
I'll turn your mic off right now. Don't tempt me.
Do you?
I need him desperately.
We're going to catch up with Gary Danielson and Brad Nessler doing the broadcast on CBS 47 on Saturday. And we've got a 1-hour special tomorrow for Florida Georgia. Battle of the Border, we call it. 7 o'clock inside the stadium. We'll be the only ones there.
That's cool.
Might go run on the field.
Nice access.
And Brent will go to jail.
There's no security guard to chase us down.
Yeah, they're all busy.
Good point. They're busy. You could actually make it.
But that's cool. We'll be inside the stadium for that and all our Florida Georgia coverage on Saturday. And flying up early to Steelers on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're going to make it.
A little time in.
We're going to rely on the airlines.
What if you get
Yeah,
delayed?
it's going to be a rush. Well, that's the point, right? Then he's screwed.
It's over? Is there?
He's doing the sideline report from the tarmac.
In reality, I just have to make it there by 4 o'clock to get the locker room, post-game, all the rest.
I guess.
You don't have pregame?
Well, I do, but I don't think we're making the pregame.
Oh.
Because we don't land till about 10:30.
Never good to show the bosses how much they don't need you. Yeah, you got to pay someone to screw that thing up.
Do the show live from the Pittsburgh airport. Just throw everybody off.
Actually, we are going to do, we're going to throw that little live apparatus on, and we'll probably kind of en route.
Tracking Bert. Dude, leave up a small box the whole show of where Bert's at. Bert's getting his bags. Bert's in the bathroom. Bert's in the Uber.
You know, the greatest thing
We're
about
in
Sunday
traffic.
is don't even have to check bags. You're just going up and flying back with the team after.
That's kind of convenient.
So it is very nice.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of flying in a short period of time.
Yes, I've done it.
Your ears are going to be popping, boy.
Have you ever flown, have you ever done that? Like up and back in the same day?
Yeah.
Have you done that a lot?
Yeah, with the Jaguars, I did it.
Not the same day.
Okay, I meant through the airport.
Yes,
No, I've never done it.
It's
Yeah,
not crazy.
yes, actually, the Jags aren't the same
Yeah,
day.
it's not the same
We
day.
did it twice that year. Once to Miami preseason, and there was another short trip, like a 30-minute flight. It might have been Atlanta or something like that. It might have been Tampa or Atlanta. But I went to New York for a high school reunion that never happened. They canceled it after I bought the ticket. So I was like, all right, I'm not getting a hotel. I'm just flying in, seeing my friends I would have saw, and then flying home.
I can't believe you would have gone to the high school reunion.
I know, that surprises me.
It was the best years of my life. I love my high school friends.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Gosh.
You're in Schachter High School for Leadership and Public Service? Come on.
It's not what they named it.
That's literally what it's called.
It's not called that at all. I would not go to the high school reunion if you paid me.
That does not surprise me, but I'm also not mad at it.
I hate those people.
What about you, Brent? High school reunion.
Nah, I've been to one when we lived in Providence.
You didn't have any curiosity on these people?
Shout out to my friends that are listening, by the way. I like y'all. It's the rest of y'all that I just like.
I really, we went to one for we didn't go very long, but I was working in Providence when it must have been would have been our fifth one. So it wasn't too far out. But now ever since, I don't even know if we do it. I'm not even sure. But I wonder if I will go when it's when we're older.
Like in your 60s.
Yeah, I don't
another
know.
4 or 5 years or so.
Yeah, Brent will go because Brent will brag. He'll be like, I was on TV
That's
50
not what you
years.
do with the reunions,
that's
man.
Bert.
Yeah, I
That's
don't think
Bert.
so,
No,
man.
you figure out how people turned out. All these people you wondered if they were going to be like homeless or if they were going to be CEOs. You find out. You come fruition on your bets.
But here's the thing about high school
That's
reunions.
actually not a bad call.
Yeah.
Here's. Can't you just check Facebook for that?
That's
Sometimes.
also true.
Sometimes.
That's has Facebook or social media in general kind of taken the place of reunions?
Not as much, in my opinion, but I see the
Kind of.
point you're making. Yeah, you kind of get to keep tabs on people in that sense.
Even the people that you don't like, because you're friends with the people that you at least somewhat like, so their stuff pops up. But you can also just type in the other person's name and be like, they
absolutely.
have a kid.
Yeah,
But
or
they're-
they're friends with maybe your friends, even though you weren't with
So
them or whatever.
you can keep tabs on them without having to go see them face to face. It's great.
But there are also meatheads who you're kind of rooting for them to fail throughout their life, or at least I am.
Whoa.
I've held these grudges for 30 years.
I've never rooted for anybody to fail.
And I would love to see how
Outside
bad
of Drew
it's-
Lock, I hate Drew Lock.
One of many. Brandon Staley.
No,
we could
that's true.
probably do a full segment on people you hope me on a daily basis.
That's true. I do hope you'll
Me
slip up.
on a daily basis.
That's also true. I would hope you get delayed on the way to Pittsburgh. All right, guys, I get it.
All right,
I
here we
understand.
go.
But I ain't going to no damn reunion. I'll tell you that. Hate those
I'm with
people.
you, man. It's so funny. Some people, my best friend, Pat, he loved high school. Man, if he could go back to high school.
Me too.
I am not. I did not like high school. It's not that I didn't like high school. It's just that I don't feel that way about high school.
It wasn't so much like the bonding and school spirit. For me personally, it was like a very tumultuous time in my life. Things were not good for me at home. And so I
that
really
was the outlet.
Well, I really dug in on the adventures and having the fun times with no repercussions.
That's good.
On the other side of it. So all these memories of crazy things I shouldn't have been allowed to do, or maybe I should have gotten arrested for. That all happened in high school, and
Just
I'm like,
leave that little
I
part out.
miss all these people, man. They were so much fun, so much fun. Look, we were going to high school in Manhattan in an
not
office
gonna be
building.
good.
It was a 14-floor office building. It was not meant for school, and they took us. Savage children, 250 of us that freshman year. They slapped us right next to the American Stock Exchange and the former World Trade Center, and they were like, all right, you guys figure it out. Go run around in Manhattan. It was wild.
That's kind of cool.
I was taking the train into school every day at 13 years old. Who knew if I got to my destination? I was going.
Yeah.
I was living as
There were
an
no
adult.
phones, Kasey.
No.
I know, I get that.
Dude, the first World Trade Center bombing was in 93. I was a freshman in high school. The school just goes over the loudspeaker and says there's been an explosion down the block at the World Trade Center. It was in the parking garage. They're like, everyone has to go home. They just let us out of school.
No way.
My train was in the World Trade Center. I was like, I guess I'm hanging out in Manhattan all day.
Really?
They let you out?
They
That
were just-
feels stupid.
They didn't just let us out. They told us to leave. Get out. Go home.
Why?
But like, it's not one of these schools where parents can pull up and pick you up. That's not.
Yeah.
It was like right next to the stock exchange. We would go into the World Trade Center, and in the lobby of the World Trade Center, there are business people trying to come to and fro, hundreds of thousands of people commuting through this building every day. We are playing tackle football in the lobby of the World Trade Center.
That's awesome.
Just being mayhem and chaos to every part of Manhattan that we touched. It was so much fun.
That's what I love about people and different. It is a good story because like that, I can't even like wrap my arms around that.
Dude, it was
right?
so
like,
much fun.
That's
it's
insane.
just a
Yeah, I know. I
different
can't
world.
even.
It was wild.
And but that's what I do like about. I wouldn't mind going back and seeing what people do or have done.
Yeah.
Because one thing I'm fascinated with in life in general is just what people do for their work. There's so many different jobs out there you don't even. It never entered my mind or whatever else. And especially in today's world, from the time we went to high school to what you're talking about to now.
It was a long time ago.
Everything has changed so much that they're probably doing things that are probably like pretty cool.
Yeah, or kind of silly or embarrassing. And you're like, all right, I feel good about that. I think my life turned out a little bit better than their life.
I wouldn't think I'd go to my reunion.
I would
for
love to
that, though. See, I don't think that. I don't think that.
You're not toxic enough.
But Aaron does. I would love to go to the reunion with Aaron to
Yes.
see him lifetime judge these people.
You would see a grin across my face. Certain people, I'd be like, you can tell this guy's had it rough. This is great. I'm going to go talk to this guy
But
for a
then,
half
like,
hour.
Aaron goes up to somebody confidently. They're like, yeah, I'm a programmer. I make
I would never say that.
$5 million. No, I'm saying somebody else says it to you.
I see what you're saying.
You think you're about to dub up on this guy. He's like, yeah, I'm a programmer. I
That would be
program
dangerous.
Google.
But here's the thing. You kind of can tell. You look at someone, you go, this is not a happy person. Things haven't gone well for this person. Things have not gone well for this person.
Yo.
Did they come with a date? Are they wearing a wedding ring? Let's go talk to them and find out what happened.
I kind of want to do this. This has never happened on this show, but I wanted to do it. We talked about, Austin and I talked about this a bunch. Go back to our hometowns and do a show from there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, nobody would care, by the way, at East Providence High School if I did a show. Like
They would kick us out of Palmetto. I just want you guys to know we wouldn't be able to get in.
We did this with Coos. We went to Flagler. We didn't do it because Coos, but we found out that Coos basically admitted to plagiarism while at Flagler.
This is not shocking,
While
by
the
way.
president was on with us.
Oh! Yikes.
I think that's what he admitted to. Or either that or I just said he did. But
Good thing you don't got the UNF president on a lot.
But we were going to go back. I wanted to go back to Austin's little town in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Iola, Scandinavia.
Yeah.
But we should do it from your hometown.
That'd be so much fun.
Does your high school still exist?
Yes.
In the same capacity?
Literally in the same spot, 14-floor office building in Manhattan.
Really?
So we could just go outside and do the show?
We could.
Could we play tackle football?
I bet we could.
We should do that. That would be awesome.
Well,
It was
we don't
so much
have
fun,
a lot
guys.
of time left for this, so we need to plan this thing now.
My high school just got rebuilt. It looks
Get out of here.
unbelievable.
That's how you know he went to a good high school.
Yeah, right?
No,
They
no.
rebuilt it?
Any high school get money thrown at it, you know. You're
My
going
high
wrong
school
either.
is desperately
We have
in
one
need
high
of being
school in our
rebuilt.
city.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
They're just making an investment at that point. Okay.
I guess we didn't get to X's or tweets.
That's
we'll do that
fine.
when we
We'll
come back.
save 'em.
But we
No,
did
we
get
won't.
the tackle football.
Right
in
World
New
Trade
York.
Center.
You like that story, huh?
That is a great story.
That is wild.
Why did it take us so long to find that out?
I don't know.
There's so many more I can't tell on the radio. They're so good.
Yeah, we heard that part when you said probably arrested.
They are so good. We were wild, man. I don't understand how it went on for as long as it did.
I think the kids are pretty wild now, too. They're
Probably, sure.
just dumb and don't think they're going to
This
get
will
caught.
be a coup situation. If we keep letting him talking, he'll just tell us what he did.
Yeah, but he's not on with, like, the president of his school.
Well,
or whatever.
JSO might be listening. Statute of limitations, I get it. But
Statute of limitation.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner this week when the 5-2 Lions take on the 3-4 Raiders. Las Vegas hopes the expected return of Jimmy Garoppolo can get them back in the win column. Jared Goff and the first-place Detroit Lions are looking to bounce back. Don't miss any of the action on Monday Night Football.
Coverage begins Monday night at 7:30 on ESPN 690.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Whoa, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim. As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Upwards of 80% of people will experience some sort of back or neck pain and say it interferes with their daily activities in life. Back and neck pain can often improve with self-care. A steady routine of cardio exercise, like walking, has been proven to reduce back and neck pain. Also, working on improving your quality of sleep and posture can help. A restful night's sleep on your back can help you feel less sore during the day. If you are experiencing chronic back or neck pain and it is caused from an injury or an accident, the orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or go to JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union. And that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids by providing comfort and normalcy to those who need it most. Learn how at starlight.org.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Online at CordellCordell.com. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Exergen thermometers are proven to be more accurate than non-contact thermometers. With children back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Clinical studies have proven that non-contact thermometers are inaccurate and can miss fevers. Accuracy matters. That's why the Exergen thermometer is trusted and used by medical professionals. Exergen thermometers are available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Choose a trusted and accurate thermometer for personal use. Learn more about why accuracy matters at Exergen.com.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
All right, what you got on X?
Why don't you figure it out yourself?
All right.
End of show. I'll just fade the music back up.
Let's start with the point I made earlier, guys, about Calvin Ridley. We got Jacob Gibbs here talking about it on X. He says a perfect get-right matchup for Calvin Ridley. Steelers are one of 10 teams with a press coverage rate below 50%. Essentially, our guy Gibbs here is talking about how Calvin sets up nicely against this Steelers secondary. We just heard George Carl Pickens talk about how the Jags defense is a hope defense. Who do you think is going to look like the hope defense at the end of that game, Brent? Not biting. Okay.
Come on, Brent. You had an opportunity to slam something home.
That's
you just
fine.
sat there.
He doesn't want to give him bulletin board material. It's fine.
Never forget Risden. That's why that was so impressive.
I would buy the Jags defense more than the Steelers in this one.
Oh, totally. How could you not?
Way to sound convincing.
Well, the Steelers do have a good defense overall.
Watt, Highsmith, Porter. Those are the only guys I'm scared of, really.
Okay, but you can wreck games that way.
Okay.
They have a game wrecker. I just think the Jags also have more answers on offense than the Steelers will have on offense for the Jags defense.
They likely have more answers on offense than anyone the Steelers have played yet and will play for the rest of the season as well.
They do play Cincinnati,
who is not playing well. They're certainly not playing as good as the Jaguars.
But do have dudes, and if they decided to turn it on for whatever reason.
Yeah, if it got turned on, very similar, yes.
Thank you.
What else you got?
All right. Let's go to Seth Waller. Seth's out here talking about the Commanders, a name you guys may or may not recognize, but certainly worked in this city. The Commanders are hiring Eugene Shen as their senior VP of football strategy.
Really?
Who worked here, Eugene or Seth?
Shen worked here, who was an analytics veteran. He's worked for a bunch of teams, Ravens, Dolphins, and, of course, the Jaguars. VP of football analytics here in Jacksonville. He left the team in 2022 to work in finance, and I guess got wooed back into the life of football.
How does that happen?
So do we have to start worrying now about our analytics team getting plucked out of Jacksonville? This team really does lean in very hard on the analytics. We hear from Tony Khan all the time, all these fun toys and tools that they get to use. Is it a feather in our cap or something you got to worry about when you start getting these guys plucked?
I don't know. That's a good question that I don't really know the answer to. That's been a very quiet department in
very
the Jags.
Secretive, very dark and shadowy, huh?
I mean, in a good way, I think.
Like the NSA of the Jaguars.
Yeah, I don't. It's not a highly publicized room, if you will. I think there was a story recently on Tony and what he built there.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know. I don't know but it would be a good thing. You know, I mean, it reminds me a little bit of baseball, like if you're Houston and you built things on analytics and the way they did it, or the Red Sox just had, well, I guess the Arizona guys are all former Red Sox guys. So when they were cooking and things were working well. So maybe it is a thing. Maybe if the Jags continue to produce pretty good drafts or find players in undrafted free agency and put together a pretty good roster build, you'll see a little bit more purging of the Jags infrastructure.
I thought it was kind of cool. A little feather in Tony's cap for hiring these guys and developing that department in the way it's been developed. Let's talk about the Titans for a second because they're clearly selling at this point. They're calling all around the league, trying to ship a couple of those pieces. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill's hurt, so you shouldn't expect him to go anywhere. I think we're seeing Will Levis this weekend. I don't know if that's confirmed. Is it confirmed, Kasey? I saw the report, though. Here's the latest out of Tennessee, though. Baltimore Ravens reportedly inquiring about Derrick Henry. I actually mentioned the Ravens the other day as a nice spot for him to land. One of a few teams who I'm sure would do well with Derrick Henry. Do you think Henry going to the Ravens changes that playoff dynamic a little bit? Are you more of a believer in Baltimore being one of the top seeds?
Well, it's funny. Anything you read on a running back right now basically has two teams on the list, the Ravens and the Browns. So Derrick Henry, or let's just say they're saying Saquon Barkley's not going to move, but Saquon Barkley has been moving at the deadline. The Ravens, right? Yeah. I think Henry's been moved to the Browns on a lot of different links. So I guess both teams make sense, especially for Derrick Henry's way of playing ball. They like to play a physical style of ball, and I think it would help those teams. I mean, you add Derrick Henry to the mix on those two teams, there's a lot to already defend for the Ravens, especially with Lamar Jackson. And now you just don't have to focus on Henry alone, but he becomes a complementary piece. Yeah, I think it would be a challenge that I wouldn't want to face if I'm the Jags, let's just say in the middle of December or in the postseason.
And by the way, Derrick Henry isn't about to retire anytime soon. Like, that could be a relationship that lasts a while in a very successful way.
Yeah, I don't know in this capacity how much more he's got
I mean, on Baltimore, he's part of a 3 or 4-headed monster over there.
Yeah, that could help.
You're not giving him 300 carries a season, keeping those legs fresh. Derrick Henry could push you through to the Super Bowl.
It'd be a scary. I think right now Baltimore's shaping up to be a pretty scary football team because the way their front's playing, so people aren't giving that enough attention. They're like one of the best fronts in the league.
And that offense
then, of
keeps
course,
getting better.
Lamar, and they're figuring things out.
They
are. And
Except
so
for
they were at
OBJ.
peace.
OBJ isn't figuring nothing. $15 million.
We'll see you at Jaguars All Access tonight. Strings in Springfield. You can watch it on Fox 30. We have Jag Social right after that. We've got a bunch of Blitz coverage, 9 o'clock on the social media channels, really 8:45. We'll start a little bit earlier today, and then 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Aaron will introduce Journey several times tomorrow morning on 96.9 The Eagle. And Kasey Kuhrts, part of Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton. That is coming up next. Have a good night, everybody.
Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do ball.
Have a good night, everybody. Car Bravo is here at Nimnick Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnick Buick GMC has joined the Car Bravo family and is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. Hey, it's a win-win for everyone. You always win at Nimnick Buick GMC. I've always won 6 different cars purchased for our family. Terrific selection of used cars under $20,000 at Nimnick. Experience Used-Phoria with Car Bravo online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
The World Poker Tour is here at Best Bet Jacksonville through November 14th. Don't miss your opportunity to become a World Poker Tour champion with 14 poker tournaments, including the Best Bet Scramble, the $5,000 no-limit hold'em main event with a $1 million guarantee, going on now through November 14th. There are still lots of great satellite opportunities to play. Visit bestbetjacks.com for the full World Poker Tour schedule and for more information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Winter, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial **invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Valor Bare Knuckle is back in Jacksonville. The legend Ken Shamrock playing host, and the card is highlighted with a heavyweight bout. Valor Bare Knuckle highlights combat sports in its truest form. It's one night, October 27th, and it's at UNF Arena, an intimate setting surrounding the electrifying bout circle. October 27th at UNF Arena. For ticket information, go to valorbk.com. Don't miss it. Raw, electric, exhilarating. Valor Bare Knuckle 2 in Jacksonville, October 27th, valorbk.com.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent. Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergent.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Koala insulation.
Hey,
this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Cleveland quarterback Deshaun Watson says he doesn't know when he'll be able to play again. Watson re-injured his right rotator cuff strain against the Colts and won't play Sunday against the Seahawks. P.J. Walker gets the start. Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama blocked a Kyrie Irving shot on his first defensive possession. That was his only block of the game. He had 15 points and 5 rebounds for Spurs head coach Greg Popovich.
He's learning something, every practice, every game he's going to learn. But I love his energy, his defensive energy. Offensively, he's learning how to, control a group out there. So it'll take a little bit of time to gel them together, but I was really pleased with them overall.
Greg Popovich after game 1 for the rookie Wembanyama. One more season opener tonight. The Bucks host the 76ers. No James Harden for Philadelphia. He'll miss at least the first 2 games. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker are both out for the Suns tonight against the Lakers. Beal with tightness in his lower back. Booker has a foot injury.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
How y'all doing?
Did you wait until Aaron walked in just to do that?
I did not.
It timed perfectly.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Well, isn't that just a happy accident? Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton, ESPN.
I like it
690.
personally.
Do you?
It's a part of the show now. Aaron Schachter is a part of 4 hours of radio here.
He's part of a lot more than 4 hours of radio.
That's fair.
He does whatever happens in the morning.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where he
8
talks
hours
for
of
like,
radio.
Well, he talks for like 4 minutes in 4 hours. I mean, calm down. He does okay.
The ratings say he does great. I'm just letting you know.
What is this? What is happening?
Well, you're going to downplay the man And I'm going to let you know that the ratings say otherwise, that it's just okay. It's more than okay.
It's just okay. It's nothing special.
It's not what the listeners say.
I'm a listener.
Yeah, well, you're in the minority of it.
Every morning. You know, I'm also the youngest listener he has.
Here we go.
That's all I'm saying.
I can't wait till you hit 30. Matter of fact, I want to bring you around some of my cousins right now so they can look at you and be like, how old? 25.
Is this a good thing? I don't.
No, they can do what the Kasey Kuhrts, what you do.
Oh, because they're
everybody.
like 19 or 18, 16, something like that. Okay, it doesn't matter. Cool. We're off the rails already. See you, Aaron. Have a good day. Thanks for participating in 8 hours of radio today. That apparently was freaking fantastic, according to Brian.
According to Nielsen, not me. That's Nielsen.
Man, you ain't seen him. How do you know?
I have seen him.
You be looking? All right, it's not important. Jags injury report is important as we move on. By the way, it is Thursday Night Football coming up. We'll talk about it here in just moments. But Jags injury report, if you're just jumping out of work and have not seen, did not get the notifications, any of that information, didn't hear us talking about it earlier, I will tell you, limited in practice today for the Jacksonville Jaguars were as follows. Tyson Campbell, back-to-back days limited. Andre Cisco, back-to-back days limited. Trevor Lawrence, back-to-back days limited. Walker Little, back-to-back days limited. Brandon Sheriff, back-to-back days limited. Practicing in full but showing up on the injury report, Gregory Jr. and Devon Hamilton. Could we see big Devon Hamilton back for the Jacksonville Jaguars this week? We will see. And the same as Wednesday, a did not participate from Zay Jones in practice for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the injury report looks exactly the same as it did on Wednesday here on this Thursday. I will tell you, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Deontay Johnson, wide receiver, potentially their wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, if you believe in George Carl Pickens, did not participate in practice today. Also, Larry Ogunjobi, no participation for.
Good job on that, man.
Thanks, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Joey Porter Jr., Cameron Hayward, both limited for the Steelers. And that is the injury report sponsored by nobody. But that's what we're looking at this weekend for a matchup with the Jags and the Steelers. Tomorrow will be a big day, finding out. Zay Jones probably will find out his status there. And then last week, as you know, Trevor Lawrence was, limited, questionable, and then played. Brandon Sheriff, same deal. Walker Little's the one to watch here because obviously you did not have him last week, limited a couple of times. This week, Tyson Campbell, another one to watch as well on the defensive side. And on the Steelers side, if you're watching Deontay Johnson, I mean, if he doesn't give it a go, it's George Pickens or bust. They can't run the football. They have not done it well. They've got names at running back, but they have not ran the football well. Their offensive line is bad. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, if they're both out there, okay, but you're looking at a potential situation with no Johnson. They will not have Freiermuth. He's on IR. And really, you just got to take care of George Pickens. You probably win the football game. So that's fun.
That's the game plan.
That's fun for the Jags. That could
Double
be
Pickens, ball game.
It feels that way. It really does. Right. Because the Steelers have not ran the ball on anybody. Najee Harris, since his rookie year, it's been pretty bad. Take it from me. I have him in fantasy every year. Don't know why, don't know how, but Najee Harris has not been that guy. They've basically replaced him with Warren, the other running back, and they still can't run the ball because of that offensive line. So it is, it's a bit of a... Here's the thing. I say it's a bit of a mess in Pittsburgh. They're 4-2. But that's just Pittsburgh. That's just Mike Tomlin for you. So, Jags and the Steelers coming up on Sunday. I told you a few moments ago that you can hear it right here on ESPN 690. Coverage starts at 7:30. Westwood One's coverage of the NFL, and that will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Buffalo Bills. Since the Bills played the Jags, we have talked about this, and many people on social media have talked about this. The Bills are somewhat broken, Brian Middleton. It has not been good for the Buffalo Bills. I will remind you, after a 48-20 victory over the Dolphins, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They then went to London and lost to the Jags by 5, but it could have been a whole lot worse, take away a couple of fumbles from the Jags. They then play really one of the ugliest football games I've ever seen, and I was at the Rams-Jags game in L.A. a couple of years ago. That was awful. and should have lost to the Giants, but you have a no call in the end zone on Darren Waller at the end of the game. They barely beat the New York Football Giants and then lose to the Patriots, who for a month have looked like not an NFL team. So that's what the Bills have done in the last 4 games. And they will now take on a Bucs team at home that is another team that basically the best way I can say it is an NFL team. They have won games that I think people were surprised to see them win. They have then lost games that they probably shouldn't have lost, like last week. Some people had them in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes before the season. Baker Mayfield has said, hold on, that's not going to be the case. And playing well, but I don't know if the Bucs are any good. I think the Bills are broken. What do you make of this game, Brian Middleton?
Do you remember the new segment that we came up with and did last week called Head Nod or Big Fraud?
Was that last week?
Or 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
You remember the segment?
Of course.
Head Nod or Big Fraud?
Maybe that's where my clip is.
It might be. And I got to be real with you right now. It feels like Big Fraud and Big Fraud.
Ooh.
Okay? But the good news is someone's going to, well, unless they tie, someone's probably going to win this game and their record's going to look head noddy. It's going to look contender-ish.
That's a good point.
Especially if they look good in the win, i.e., if the Buffalo Bills look good in this win, it'll be a nice win. Tampa Bay, I mean, they're fine. They're at one point, they're leading their little division early in the season. I mean, they're 500 right now, but like you said, they've shown some capacity to be a decent NFL team so far this season when, honestly, Tampa Bay, I was like, okay, what do they have? Okay, they got defense. I know they got Mike Evans. I know they got Godwin. But the quarterback position was the big iffy point, even leading up to the first game of the season. Even though Baker Mayfield, I believe, was named starter like the second week in the preseason, something like that.
It was early, yep.
It was still a big question mark. I don't care what anybody says. They're trying to, avoid all that, but with Baker Mayfield's, past 3 seasons, it's just like, you sure? Are you sure about that? But overall, Kasey, I will say this. This has the potential to be a decent game, to a good game. So Amazon Prime is happy.
They finally got one. We think.
This might be is this 2 in a row? Who was last week again? Wasn't it, no, it was in Kansas City and L.A., wasn't
Kansas
it?
City, no. No, that was a couple weeks ago. Hold on.
There was someone, 2 out of the last 3 weeks or the last 2 weeks, I think Amazon Prime finally has had, matchups. Where
it was the Jags last week.
So how sleepy am I?
I forgot about that.
Jags and Saints. So, yeah. That's,
and then it was Broncos-Chiefs the week before, which was
that's
a sleeper.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. My point is this.
Bears-Commanders before that.
It'll be a good game on paper. And I think that one of these two teams will look pretty good. And if Buffalo looks good, most of the chatter goes away of, it's a broken team. Is it really good? Is the window shut? It'll go back to, oh, man, the Buffalo Bills, they're right up there with Philly and Kansas City and San Francisco as favorites to come out of their conference and go to the Super Bowl. So I think it's a bunch of big fraud, at least for this season. And an interesting point that, I'm sure people have talked about. I think this iteration for the Buffalo Bills, I do think it's done. I do think when we talk about windows closing, and I might be jumping a little early off of the ship, but that's what, visionaries do.
That's true.
I think it's closed. They need to shake something up, not at quarterback. Head coach? I don't know. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out. They're not going to jump off of Stephon Diggs, but, they need something big, even though on paper, Kasey, and at times during the season, including, I thought the Miami Dolphins win, even though, Miami kind of folds against really good teams. I thought that was a spectacular win for the time it happened, during the week of the season that it happened, and what Miami had just been doing to people leading up to that game.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the talent, but overall for this game right here, I'm going to watch. Then I'm going to fall asleep because I'm tired.
I feel that.
But I'm going to have it on because it is an interesting game between two teams I think that are big frauds, at least at this point in the season.
It's a good call. I mean, I think you're onto something with the big fraud point. Buffalo they are frauds right now. And This feels like, if they haven't had it already, gut check time already this point in the season. You can't lose to New England. You can't almost lose to the Giants, lose to the Bucs at home. Like, you just can't do it. And they're going to find out in that division, which is still tough. It's not the Aaron Rodgers Jets, but all of a sudden the Zach Wilson Jets are okay. And the Miami Dolphins, although they demolished the Miami Dolphins, are still pretty good, I think, when they play bad teams. When they play good teams, I'm not so sure anymore. But the Bills might turn into a bad team if they go in the tank here. Josh Allen has not played a ton of winning football in this stretch. Stephon Diggs, as you mentioned, is still a dog. You got to find ways to get him the football. They really need to run the ball, though. That's what they were doing early in the season. They're running the football. James Cook, we talked about it before the Jags matchup. If the Bills can run the football, they've been unstoppable when they've been able to do so because it opens everything else up. Couldn't run the ball against the Jags, haven't ran the ball since. You look at this Bucs team, and one of their guys who is questionable for the game, I heard this morning that they were trending towards out. I've then since heard trending towards playing in Vita Vea, who is just a massive human being in the middle and stops the run for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's been great for them. Maybe not a name that you necessarily know, but he has been fantastic for them, stopping the run the last couple of years. Officially questionable. Haven't seen if he's going to play. Again, I tell you, this morning, I was watching NFL Network, and they're like, yeah, he's trending towards out. And then on the way here, I heard that he's trending towards in. So not really sure where that lands, but that'll be a big part of it. Can the Bills run the football? Does that open things up? And the Bucs, coming off a game last week against Atlanta that they had no business losing, and they lost. So we will see. I agree, though, a couple of frauds playing in this football game. Also for the Bucs and fantasy football, if you're interested, Chris Godwin and Baker Mayfield, questionable. I have not heard the status. A couple of guys out, but nothing that would involve your fantasy football team. For the Buffalo side, Ed Oliver, officially questionable. And I don't know if you heard this because we don't follow the Bills like that. Dawson Knox, their tight end, is having surgery on the wrist or the finger, I believe, somewhere on the hand. So if you have Dalton Kincaid, by the way, their other tight end is out. So it's basically just Dalton Kincaid in this one. But if you have Dalton Kincaid in fantasy, it may finally be time, the first-round pick out of Utah. And if he's for some reason available in your fantasy league, maybe go grab Dalton Kincaid because...
if there's time. Right?
Before the game? You're saying?
Yeah, is there time?
Yeah, I'm saying go right now. If he's available in your league, go grab him. You can put him in before 8:20. Absolutely. I'm just saying, I have one league that I have no idea why, but he was a free agent. And I was like, I will take you.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So that will be coming up on ESPN 690 in just a little bit. And maybe if we did this next segment sometime next week, one of these teams might find themselves on the list of frustrated fan bases. The frustrated fan bases. Good segment. Got away from being a weekly segment. That's unfortunate.
I don't think so, man. I think it has more power.
You think it's better in spurts?
Yeah, when it's sprinkled in.
Really?
Yeah.
I respect that.
You can't sprinkle in VIP. That's a necessary segment.
That's fair.
You can't sprinkle in power rankings every week. That's
It's
a
a
necessary
staple.
segment.
Mm-hmm.
We sprinkling in Are You Smarter? I think that's a terrible idea. I think that should be a weekly deal, but I know you don't want to.
Is that coming up this week?
No.
Are You Smarter?
Mm-mm.
It's not coming up.
No.
I thought it was today.
We got a trivia game. It's not Are You Smarter, though.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I ruined the segment.
No, it's Where You Come From.
Oh, I'm good at Where He Come From.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm excited now.
Okay.
I'm not good at Are You Smarter? I suck. But frustrated fan bases is what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
5.
I don't know if you got 5, but I'm just doing the countdown.
5?
Okay, hold on.
3.
3? No, I'm
There
just
we go.
kidding. I'm just kidding. This is an NFL segment. I want to lump in a city, though. This goes for, I'll give you a couple of options in this city, and it's basically everybody but the Chicago Blackhawks, who now have Connor Bedard and are good. But the Bears and the Bulls now jump into this, and if you want to put the White Sox and the Cubs, I'll take them. Cubs, you should be mad. They should have made the playoffs. They didn't. They failed at the end. White Sox, high expectations, sucked all year. Bears, okay, so the Bears win a football game, right? And you're like, hey, all right. But then you look up, and they won without Justin Fields. The whole point has been to win with Justin Fields. And they put in Tyson Badgett, I believe is how you say his name, is what I was told yesterday. and they win? Are you kidding me? So now you're looking at this going, is Justin Fields like the problem? Is he good? Is he bad? I don't know, but we're winning with Tyson Bagent. What is happening? And then it's like, oh, don't worry. In Chicago, we're all good. We're NBA fans. Bulls. Did you see this story? Players only meeting after the first game of the season.
Nip it in the bud. Game 1. DeMar said, nah, we're not doing this.
Are you kidding me? This team.
OKC is good.
I'm not arguing. I like OKC. Okay. But you can't call a players only meeting one game into the season. No, you can't.
Yeah, absolutely. It just happened. What do you mean?
Right.
It literally just happened.
You know what it says? This is a mess. This is a disaster already. Zach LaVine and the boys.
I don't think so.
This is a mess. So if you're in Chicago and you like football and you like basketball and you like baseball, literally nothing's going well for you right now. Not one thing. Other than maybe, just maybe, the Panthers won't win a game and you'll end up with a number 1 pick because they goofed up. So you may end up with Caleb Williams if you want him, but should you take him? Because now Justin Fields still got him. Can you win with him? I don't know. Bagent won without him. What are we doing in Chicago? At least we've got Connor Bedard, who got rigged to us from the NHL. Thank you, NHL, for giving us Connor Bedard. That's what I'd be saying if I'm in Chicago, because everything else around me is pretty much a mess. City included. That's what I got.
You letting it breathe, all right. Well, I'll stick in the Midwest. We'll move one state over, Illinois to Ohio. Listen, guys.
I think that you do you.
What?
No, you got it.
No, you about to correct me on something. It sounded like.
You got it.
Is that out of the Midwest? They're not next to each other. Is Indiana in the middle? My geography is a little off.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I would like to tell you that I believe that's the case, being from the great state of Indiana.
Okay.
But then when you corrected me as I started to correct you, I was like, maybe I don't know where Indiana
No,
is.
I wasn't correcting you. You stopped, and then I was like...
Yep, I was right. Illinois, Indiana, then Ohio.
Further east, one state over.
That's perfect.
Jumping over the state that smells like...
Most people do. They jump right over
farm.
Indiana.
Like, man, I remember when I rode through Indiana, I was like, get me the bleep out of here.
Yeah, that's what most people say.
You know what I mean?
That's what I say when I go
Except
back.
for Indianapolis.
Nope.
It's quaint. It's a quaint kind of big city. Kind of. You know what I mean? I liked Indianapolis. Anyway, my point is this. Ohio. I am not talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm talking about the Cleveland Browns. I understand. Great defense. Winning record. Some good wins so far this season. A couple of bad wins, but really good, promising start. And all I can think about right now is what if they hadn't given this contract to Deshaun Watson? How much better, if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, how much better could we be right now? Now, listen, I understand Deshaun is hurt still. It was a weird injury. They said he could have played a couple of weeks ago. He still didn't feel right. That's cool. Then he came out that next game and threw for like 5 yards. He's injured again. It's weird. It's weird. It hasn't worked at all at the quarterback position.
It has not.
And I gave him the first year, not because I'm necessarily like giving him a pass for anything that caused all the issues, but I'm just saying first year coming back after all that, it probably is going to be tough, okay, for anybody. But this year, I was like, okay, you worked through that. We passed that. We're past that situation. You're acclimated again. Come on, let's do something here. And I guess as long as Nick Chubb was there, you could always say, Nick Chubb is the focal point of the offense, even though it's a passing league. And, you got Amari Cooper. He's going to get his stats. But, all right, it's going to be a bit tempered when you got one of the 2 best running backs in the league who is a beast back there. Nick Chubb's gone. And I was like, this is Deshaun Watson time. I've seen Deshaun Watson in Houston do more with less. This is his time. And it just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And if I was a Cleveland Browns fan, I'd be like, I love the fact that our defense is great. Historically great in some senses right now. I love the fact that Myles Garrett is playing fake basketball at the line of scrimmage against the offensive line. Who knows where they're going and still gets to the quarterback. I love all of this right here. I love the fact that we were able to pull out, a victory with 39-38, even though our defense didn't look great then with backup QB.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fact, but I'm just like, where could that money be at right now on the field? How much? $200+ million guaranteed? Trying to mess up the quarterback market a couple of seasons ago? Who could have been in a Cleveland Browns jersey? Maybe at quarterback or elsewhere.
I'm saying, man.
So if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm going to be kind of Florida Gatorade fan in the mid 2000s to 2010s where you're winning, but you're just not happy unless you're the absolute best because they were spoiled with so many championships. But I understand it at this point in time because, man, what could have been right now if you weren't under a Deshaun Watson heavy-laden secured contract, it could look even more imposing as a team right now. Kasey, I got Cleveland Browns, number 3. Are we doing 3?
We're doing 3.
Okay.
2.
My second one, though, is quick because I was a believer in the Packers and Jordan Love.
Here you go.
Shout out Green Bay with you squeaky cheese. They were 2-1. I said I was in. They got stomped by the Lions. I said, okay, that's some of y'all's number 1 team in the league. That's fine. But they then lost. This is a wild thing because both of these teams suck really bad. They lost to the Raiders and the Broncos in back-to-back weeks. Listen, you can talk about Christian Watson if he's good, Romeo Doubs, the running backs. You've got players on defense, all fine and good. Jordan Love, don't know if he's the answer or not. Here's what I know. You got to be miserable if you lost to the Raiders and the Broncos. Right? That's just the worst. It does not get worse than losing to the Raiders and the Broncos. But they will now have a chance to lose to the Minnesota Vikings coming up this week and prove that they are indeed no good. But there was a little moment early in the season at 2-1 where you thought the Green Bay Packers might be good. They were down 17-0 to the Saints. They come back, win 18-17, and have been awful since. So I know they're mad up in Green Bay. I see some of those people on my social media. I have absolutely no idea why. I don't care about the Packers at all. I guess I was looking at Jordan Love propaganda a little too much, and now it's on the algorithm, but they got to be annoyed in Green Bay. Favre to Rodgers to Love, and now we're losing to the Raiders and the Broncos. It's just embarrassing, Brian. Just embarrassing. But they do have Dame Lillard, so good for them.
If you love basketball.
If you like basketball. If not, you're pretty miserable.
Oh, man. All right. My number 2 team, Washington Commanders. I don't know what I expected from Washington. And maybe if I was a fan and I followed more closely, I would expect this, but if I play Philadelphia close, I get it, Philly, we keep talking about how it hasn't clicked and they're still 6-1. If I play them close in overtime, I'm not trying to get walked by the Bears by 20. That's not what I'm trying to do. And Sam Howell, that whole scandal controversy at the beginning of the season where Rivera was like, oh, he can play. Oh, guys were trying to tell him last season. He was like, nah. Oh, you telling me, what's my man name who's at Atlanta now? I can't even think of his name right now. The guy who was basically starting for Washington last season.
Oh, Taylor Heineke.
Heineke said, I'm not going to play because you need to see this dude play. So the frustration started then if I was a Washington Commanders fan. Because Sam Howell, listen, it has been pretty good. It's been pretty good. He's 8th in the league in passing. 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but he's a young QB. He's trying to grow. But the level of frustration I would have with this team is that there is a level of inconsistency. I get that. The talent level isn't always there, I guess, when you're playing certain teams. But I'm not trying to get walked by 34 by the Bills.
Facts.
And then turn right around and beat the Falcons, who, like we said yesterday, might be decent. And for the love of everything that is a franchise QB, can you please get somebody on the offensive line that's going to stay in front of that dude for 3.4 seconds, 2.6 seconds. I think that's the high end. You know how many times Sam Howell's been sacked this season? Take a guess, Kuhrts. It's a lot.
Like 18?
Go up.
28?
Go up.
Are you serious?
It's impressive.
35?
Add 5 more.
He's been sacked 40 times?
And I was like, hold on, ESPN. Hold on, ESPN.
That's a wild
Who
thing.
is calculating? Does it? If I'm a Commanders fan, if I'm Howell, number one, I'm like, yo, this is wild. But if I'm a Commanders fan, I'm like, I think we got something here, but we got to make sure that we keep the quarterback healthy, and we got to get a bit more consistent.
That is a wild thing.
Number 2.
That is a wild thing. Let me give you the situation that unfolded at the end of the game you were talking about. I will take you to late in the football game with the Colts and the Browns. And I got a feel on this because I texted, as you know, my grandma is a Colts fan. So I got a good feel on this. But if you didn't see it, here's what happened. The Browns are driving to win the football game. P.J. Walker is sacked. He is fumbled. DeForest Buckner has it. The Colts have won. Or so you thought. Illegal contact. It's coming back. We'll do it again. First and goal from the 8. P.J. Walker drops back to throw. It is incomplete. Or so you think. We have another illegal contact. First and goal from the 1. We have a pass in the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Thrown out of the back of the end zone into the stands. But wait, we have pass interference. First and goal from the 1 again. And then finally Kareem Hunt gets in on 4th down. I mean, what a mess, Colts fans. You got to be annoyed. You don't win a lot. Finally had the opportunity to win with Gardner. You put up 38 points on the Browns defense. You lost. And you're not even mad at the Browns. You're mad at the refs. You're mad at the NFL.
Yeah.
My grandma, furious. Not happy with the calls, she said. And I do not blame her. What a mess that was.
Grandma gets really angry?
Really?
Is she energetic? That's great to know.
Yeah, she was not thrilled with the calls. I said, Grandma, this is some BS.
And she said the whole word. She said, it's not
she
BS.
did not,
it's
she did
bleep.
not say the whole word.
There
but
you go. Grandma Kuhrts. There you go.
What do you got at 1?
Really quick, easiest answer is the most direct one, the Carolina Panthers. 0-6, it should be frustrating. I want a win, okay? This isn't my Jags fandom. This is my team most of my life fandom, the Carolina Panthers. I want to win. Bryce Young needs it. The organization needs it.
I want to win.
They just need a win. 1-16 is okay, but they need that one soon, or things may get really hot in Charlotte. Really hot in Charlotte.
I would agree with that. It is a mess in Charlotte. Bryce Young, not good. Frustrated fan bases on a Thursday. But we come back. Where he come from? I got a shot, Brian. And that makes me excited. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, BRB.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and mild tonight, dropping into the 60s. A pretty warm Friday under partly sunny skies. The afternoon high in the lower 80s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss Beards' incredible buy one, get one on wedding bands now through October 31st.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose. Mommy. That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the pimento cheese. I was like, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go get it.
Hi, this is Chantrice, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the mild spiciness of the pickled jalapenos. No, it's the crispy chicken. Actually, I can't decide. It's the entire sandwich.
Order the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up AutoSave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools. One bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
AutoSave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things: getting projects done right with Behr Premium Plus interior paint and football. That's right, Kirk Herbstreit. And with Behr's wall-to-wall coverage and long-lasting durable finish, you'll spend less time worrying about your walls, which means more time for football. For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Behr and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Jacksonville. Northeast Florida, time for a vibe check. Have you checked out all the Celsius Vibe flavors lately? One of the latest out now is Oasis Vibe, a delicious combination of prickly pear plus lime. Find it today and taste an Oasis. Northeast Florida is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. Psst. Psst.
You know, Jim was right. American Window Products does have it all for my window replacement. Quality, selection, service, and great installers. But the best thing is their prices. AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, 731-2247.
In case you haven't noticed, the holidays are a-coming. So why not make the trip to Grandma's house in style and comfort with a little help from my friends at Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota has over 575 new Toyotas available, and your new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. Arlington even has all makes and models of used inventory. I'm talking over 400 on the lot. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange program with your pre-owned purchase. Why wait? Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Brian Middleton here, and every week I need to update these messages because every week I'm losing 4.5 pounds on average thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. Last week I was down a total of 36 pounds, and this week I'm now down over 40 pounds. 40 pounds gone in just 8 weeks with the Awaken 180 at-home program. And the best part? It's easy. My Awaken 180 coach Jenna does all the work. All I do is follow the plan she's laid out for me. Not an exercise plan, not a schedule of medications. It's a plan of eating throughout the day, but eating the right foods for me, my body, and most importantly, my taste buds. How do I feel? A1. And my clothes are fitting better than they have in a long while. And as I keep telling you all, my energy level is through the roof. Dropping 40 pounds so far has been life-changing, and I'm excited to keep going. Want the same results? Then do what I did and reserve your at-home consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
The World Poker Tour is here at Best Bet Jacksonville through November 14th. Don't miss your opportunity to become a World Poker Tour champion with 14 poker tournaments, including the Best Bet Scramble, the $5,000 no-limit hold'em main event with a $1 million guarantee, going on now through November 14th. There's still lots of great satellite opportunities to play. Visit bestbetjacks.com for the full World Poker Tour schedule and for more information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hello out there, all you hard workers. It's me, Pete the Job Guy.
And Angie, the boss.
And together we run Ascendo Resources, the best staffing agency in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's right, folks. We can help you with accounting, finance, technology, administrative, anything you need, we can help on a temporary, temp to hire, and permanent basis. So call the true professionals today at 904-663-2654 because you deserve it.
Are you passionate about addressing health disparities in our community? Raise funds for life-saving research and inspire change for the chance to be named the American Heart Association's First Coast Leaders of Impact winner. Contact AHA First Coast at heart.org to nominate yourself or a local changemaker.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton, ESPN 690. Brian Middleton, Kasey Kuhrts. You know what I almost just said? But now I'm going to say it since I just said, you know what I almost just said? I almost said jumbo shrimp baseball.
Look at you thinking about.
I'm thinking.
Scott Kornberg and
The boys, Matt Davis.
and heard you talking about your boy Dwight in the break too. I heard the name between you and Chase.
What does that have to do with the shrimp?
No, I'm just saying you're reminiscing about people that you really admire. You know, you really want to go spend some time with. It's 3 guys right there, and I like Scott and Matt. I gotta be real with you.
I do too.
Them the guys right there. To be
and
real
if they're
with you,
listening, they're
them the guys right there. You know what I mean?
We're just moving on. There's no jumbo shrimp baseball.
Big Magic fan.
We'll see you in April.
Kasey Kuhrts, big Magic fan.
We'll see you in April.
04, like 2009, he was there.
I was too. Bills and Bucks.
He was a dominating force.
Yeah, he is. Hit the boards.
Read the intros, Brian.
I don't even have intros right here, Kasey Kuhrts.
Oh, there's no intros?
Nah, I just got to explain the game right here.
Explain the game.
Hey, man, it's time for Where He Come From. Everybody remember this game right here? These two guys played it last time. Basically, this is where we find out if the contestants really know where a lot of professional athletes attended the places of higher learning, where they went and got that NIL money if they're young enough, or where they got the money under the table if they play for Alabama. You feel what I'm saying?
I do.
I feel you, dog.
We got 6 categories. We got the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10, and I know you lying. Okay?
Oh, that's right.
And they can be worth anywhere from 100 to 500 points unless you do I know you lying, in which case the point totals are doubled for each question. And also, guys, I put this in here because sometimes trivia is hard, and having done it now and being on the other side of it on another show.
Shout out Terry and the boys.
I'll give you a bit of a lifeline, huh? You get one holla at your boy.
Really?
That you can use.
It took one. You've put me in these damn trivia segments for 2 years.
Yeah.
It took you to get one segment with Terry and Patrick, and now I get a lifeline.
You could have suggested it.
That is fantastic.
You get one, and the holla at your boy is me, and I'll try to help you out. Okay, I'm going to give you clues, and we'll work through it. But I can't give you the actual answer. But just know you got that in your pocket, but you only can use it once, all right?
Copy.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Who wants to go first? I don't really have a good way.
Chase does.
Okay, I guess I want to go first.
All right, Chase, where do you want to go?
Let's go with ACC 100.
ACC 100. The Jags, Yasir Abdullah.
Man, is there a steal option here?
Oh, yeah. If they get it wrong, you can guess. You can scoop in and guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Good news.
Yasir Abdullah, I'm going to say Louisville.
That sucks.
Look at you.
Oh, wow, I got it right.
You did.
Woo! Wow. I'll make sure to tell Yasir that you see him in person. Like, they don't really know about you around here. Now, good job, Chase. All right, Kasey, where do you want to go?
I know you're lying. 200.
Look at you.
Look at you.
The Jags linebacker, Caleb Johnson.
Can I ask a question about I know you lying?
You want to use your holla at your boy?
No, I'm just clarifying the game.
Yeah.
Does I know you lying mean it can't be any of the other ones available?
Right. It's
okay.
It's none of the ones. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. And these are the current conferences.
Yeah. Trust me.
So we're not gonna get any whack players.
Well, it could be on I know you lying.
Right.
Caleb Johnson, without a doubt, went to Tennessee State.
Not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. Chase, would you like to steal?
I believe it's a state, but I'm going to say Arkansas State.
Houston Baptist University.
I knew that.
Houston Baptist
That
University.
was my 5th guess.
Yeah.
I'm in the hole.
All right. I can't do that much math, so right now you're still at 0.
Yeah.
Chase, where do you want to go?
Let's go with SEC 100.
SEC 100, the Jags, Logan Cook.
Ooh, I thought. Is he Tennessee?
Is that your guess?
Yes.
Is that your guess?
Kasey Kuhrts, would you like to come in and take the steal?
Mississippi State?
Look at you work. All right, we're all tied up. Young Kuhrts, and it's your turn right here. Kasey, where do you want to go?
SEC for 400.
SEC 400.
What? 400?
That's what I just said.
Oh, sorry.
SEC 400.
Okay.
Kansas City's McCole Hardman.
Georgia.
There you go, Kasey. All right. Like I said, keep track of your points. Chase, where do you want to go next?
Let's go with I know you lying 400.
I know you lying 400. Here we go. Colts linebacker Shaq Leonard.
San Diego State?
I think you're thinking about it too much. What category is this?
I know you lying.
Oh. Shaq Leonard. What was his? Darius Leonard. Miami of Ohio.
SC State, home of the Bulldogs. Who knew?
Oh, of course.
Who knew? Don't do that.
What state?
South Carolina State.
Good man.
Kasey, it's on you. Where are you going?
ACC for 400. please.
ACC 400. Buffalo wide receiver Stephon Diggs.
What? Are you?
You need me to say the name again?
No, I'm confused.
Okay.
Did Stephon Diggs not go to Maryland?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
Is Maryland not in the Big Ten?
That might be it. There might be a typo on my end. Okay. But you get the points anyway.
As long as I get the points. Hey, where's my buzzer?
Hold on, man.
Where's my
I gotta
date?
mark it down.
All right.
What is that, point-wise? 4,
9.
4. No, I'm sorry. I'm talking out loud right now, man. You threw me off right there. Okay, Chase, it's on you.
I thought it was a trick. I thought there was like an NIL transfer situation. I'm like, what do I not know here?
Pac-12 100.
Pac-12 100. Let's hope. Let's cross our fingers that this is a Pac-12 school. The Jags Walker Little.
It is.
USC.
Ooh. Stanford.
Oh, yes.
So bad at this game.
It's okay.
I'm glad you're here, Chase.
Thank you. Thank you.
I may start marking it down. Here we go. Kasey, where you at now?
SEC for 5.
SEC for 5. Here we go. Carolina tight end Hayden Hurst.
Talking about Jacksonville's finest? Hayden Hurst? Talking about your team? South Carolina Gamecocks.
I'm going to stop marking down the points.
Which one was that one?
SEC for 5.
Okay. All right, Chase, where you want to go?
I like the smile he had when he said that. Let's go Big 12 5.
You got to. I respect it.
Big 12 5. Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker.
The kicker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. You better get this right or this is going to snowball.
You smiled so much when he said that.
I know the answer. I mean,
I know. I'm going to say K-State.
Thinking about it too much.
Kasey Kuhrts.
Texas.
All right. You can still turn it around, huh? And
no, I can't.
And you both still have, holla at your boy.
Me?
Yeah, Kasey, it's on you. Go ahead.
I know you lying for 1,000.
I know you lying for 1,000. Minnesota wide receiver Lucky Jackson.
I'm going to holla at your boy.
Holla
what
at
do you
your
got
boy.
for me for Lucky Jackson?
All right, you want to holla at your boy. Okay, this is me and you. We talking real quick. All right, so Lucky Jackson, what I can tell you about this school is this. Hold on, let me do it like this. In the Southeast, okay, it's a directional school in the Southeast.
A directional school?
In the Southeast.
That's what I got. That was my hint. What is a directional? It's southwest something? Southeast something?
It has a direction in the school.
Yeah.
Okay. A direction or a location?
Direction.
Okay, all right.
It's home of the Hilltoppers. That's the best I can do.
But it's in the southeast?
Yeah.
I mean, the only Hilltoppers that I know are Western Kentucky. I wouldn't have got it, by the way. I was ready to go South Alabama.
Yeah. I was going to say South Alabama as well. If you got it wrong, I was just going to say that.
All right. We're not keeping points right now. We're just playing for fun. But
No,
Chase,
we're keeping points. I have.
Chase, where do you want to go?
I have 3,000 points on the dot.
All right. That's neat. I'll go with I Know You Lying for 800.
Might as well.
I know you lying for 800. New England's Matthew Judon.
Holla at your boy.
There you go.
It's a smart decision, Chase.
Okay. Okay. Here you go. Hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. I was about to give you the mascot too, but I want to make sure I got it right. Hold on. Holla at your boy. It's 3 names.
Oh boy.
Okay. It's 3 names for the school, okay? Their mascot is Louie the Laker. Louie the Laker.
I don't know.
Louie the Laker.
Yeah.
As if like the university is going to be somehow called Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which I feel like is a decent guess when your mascot is Louie the Laker.
And actually, that wouldn't be a bad process of.
Louie the Laker.
Don't say that though, because that's wrong.
No, I know that's wrong.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. You can't give me like where like he at least got a direction.
Give him a.
There's no direction in the school.
Give him a part of the country.
It's in the contiguous 48 states, right there. It's not Alaska.
Okay, so it's not Alaska or Hawaii.
That's a good hint.
Okay.
Because Hawaii is a 3-teamer. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good hint.
Wait, are you saying the university has 3 names or it's...
Yeah, the university has 3 names.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna say Western New Hampshire.
Not mad at that.
That's not bad.
Kasey, did you want to come in and steal that, though?
I have no shot, but I'll go Sam Houston State.
Thank goodness you didn't get that right, because I would have probably stopped the show, too.
Is it North Dakota State or South Dakota State?
Hold on, let me get this right.
Okay.
Those are wrong. Go ahead. Any more guesses?
No.
Grand Valley State.
Dang it.
Oh, wow.
I've actually heard of that.
We got like a couple of minutes.
ACC for 5.
ACC for 500. Let's see. Let's hope, right? Washington quarterback Jacoby Brissett.
I mean,
Chase. Oh, now I'm second guessing myself. Jacoby Brissett. NC State, is that right?
I thought you were also going to technically say Florida as well, because that's also correct.
Oh boy, y'all stayed away from the Big Ten except for Maryland. Anybody?
I will take Big Ten for 500 right now.
Big Ten for 500.
Let's do Big Ten 500.
Giants QB Tommy DeVito.
Oh.
Rookie. Just got here.
I think I know.
You think you know? All right. Big Ten.
Oh, man. I think I know.
Is it Iowa?
This is...
I'm sorry.
I'm going to feel like a nerd if this is right.
Yeah.
Is it Illinois?
Oh, boy.
All right. Listen,
I'm calling the game.
No, you can't call it.
Yeah,
I've gotten all the 500s and the 1,000. The only one we haven't done is Pac-12. At least give me a shot.
Cincinnati's Jay Tufele.
USC.
I'm calling the game.
Do you have...
I don't have the answers.
Do you have...
It feels like you do.
Yeah, it feels like you do.
I do not.
I feel like this is like the revenge for all the times I've beaten you in trivia, and it's just like, all right, hold on. I need a nice little like ego booster.
Oh, boy.
Give me all the answers, Brian. I'll give you $20.
No, that actually didn't happen this time. I'm not going to lie. One time about 6 months ago, we did cheat. He gave me the answers.
Oh,
and
man.
I beat you in real trivia.
And I think you still almost won.
You did.
I got to be real with you. And I was just like...
I tried to make it believable, and then I threw it a little too much, and then it was bad.
Storming back.
But that one we did cheat. This one we did not.
That one you did not?
This one we did not. That one we 100%. There is one that you lost that I absolutely cheated.
We didn't count it against you when I did your record.
Okay, thank you. I do have a trivia game that is ready, and it's going to be You Don't Know Jack style that I want to do again between you and Brian next time.
All right.
Okay.
As a tease for whenever I'm on in the next 6 months. I don't know. It seems like my appearances are few and far between.
Hopefully you're on before 6 months.
Hopefully.
You're going to be by yourself if not. Bucks going to win or no?
Boy.
It depends on Vita Vea's health. I think Vita Vea can disrupt that O-line and make Josh Allen uncomfortable, but right now it's... When you lose to the Falcons the way you did, you can't beat the Bills. You need you need to work on that offense. That's between Dave Canales and that's Baker Mayfield. They need to work on something. And also run the ball efficiently.
I agree with that. I have Rashad White in every fantasy league that's ever been invented.
Thoughts and prayers to your fantasy team at this trying time.
Boys are 7-0. I just keep them on the bench.
That's good.
It's worked out well. 7:30, you can hear it right here on ESPN 690 for Chase Bunker and Brian Middleton. I just scored 5,000 points in trivia. My name is Kasey Kuhrts. Have a great night, everybody. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?
Let me help you get a little something for free with the air conditioning team I use. It's Bold City Heating and Air. Tell them Brent sent you.